All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to the next episode of Pawn Shop for Life. I'm your host, Brad BCG. I have my
That'd be of life,
of
just
life.
so you know.
That's good. That's fine. Pawn Shop of Life. My co-host Tammy B48 and my producer Baby Kangaroo. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Brad from Brad's Journey, who's a mini YouTube star. And we're here to talk about YouTube and his channel. So we're going to kick this off. Brad, how you doing today?
Doing good. Not a YouTube star, more of a YouTube flunky. So.
You're a YouTube star to me because I watch your videos and I think you do a lot of good stuff out of that. And appreciate.
I'm an expert on what not to do on YouTube. So that's where I'm gonna be beneficial.
Oh, well, then we're going to teach everybody how to start a YouTube channel. Just don't do what Brad does.
They say you learn more from your failures
do-
than you do from your successes.
That's right. You take what I do and you do the exact opposite, and you will be successful.
All right. Well, let's teach everybody. Let's teach everybody what not to do. So, your YouTube channel's Brad's Journey. How long have you been doing the channel? Like, when did you start doing YouTube?
Well, where I got into content creation and wanting to remotely share anything I've ever done to the masses was very, very early on. Like the first video that I ever uploaded to YouTube was on September 26, 2007.
Jeez.
On a channel that shall not be ever known because I only have like 4 videos on it. But one of the first videos that I ever uploaded to YouTube was a gameplay footage from Hot Import Nights when capturing game footage off of a console was a Herculean task, like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. You know, it was very, very difficult to do that. And I used to watch Justin TV, you know, guys doing gameplay, and which, you know, turned into Twitch. So I always loved the idea of regular people, you know, broadcasting content.
Yeah.
And I always did have a desire to do it. And, you know, YouTube back in those early days, you know, around 2007, you know, around that time and moving forward, you pretty much did YouTube for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Because it was something that, you know, it was hard to get discovered. You know, it was almost impossible to get partnered. So basically, everybody that did it, they just did it for fun.
So how did
the monetization side of it was really not evolved like it is today?
Yeah. So how did you capture the first video that you posted on that channel?
To be honest with you, I really don't remember.
Was it like having a camera up kind of thing and like recording the TV with like a?
No, you couldn't really do that because of the refresh rate. So, you know, it would flicker. You know,
okay.
If you tried to just record it with like a camcorder, you would get all of the refresh rate of the monitor. So
Gotcha.
You didn't want to do that. You wanted to physically feed it into a capture device. And I believe I had like an old ATI. It was a capture device that you would plug like an old camcorder into.
Yeah.
If you were trying to like, you know, save stuff to like a VHS tape or something or whatever. And they had a way that you could port that into a capture card, which was a TV tuner card on your PC because they had inputs on them for like cable boxes and stuff. Well, I just fed that feed into my capture card and I was able to record it on the computer. And to be honest with you, so long ago, I might be lying to you, but that seems to be like what I remember how that went down. But yeah, very, very rudimentary, not very user-friendly at all. And so, yeah, that's what kind of kicked it off. And then, you know, I had years go by and life happen, you know, got married, got divorced, you know.
Married again.
Just wanted to do stuff. Yeah, do stuff outside. So that, and then, you know, I did circle back around to wanting to get back into content creation. And what I thought I was originally going to do was Twitch. I thought I was just going to stream gameplay.
Yeah.
But then I got unhealthily addicted to World of Warcraft and
I remember
streaming the game. Yeah, and streaming the game went out the window because I was playing it so much. I mean, literally, I would get off work, I'd come home, I'd take a shower, because I ran a guild. So I ran a raiding group, and I would play from the time I got home from work till the time I went to bed. I was doing that every day.
Yeah, been there.
So, yeah, so that really capitalized or monopolized all of my time and all of my desire to do anything else but that.
Yeah.
But when I did circle around to say, hey, I'm gonna create a YouTube channel, I sat here and I didn't come up with the most creative, channel name. Obviously, Brad's Journey. A lot of thought went into that, right?
No, I mean, it's all right.
But the problem is, when I first started, I really had the right trajectory. I wanted to come up with a name that was reflected me, but at the same time, now, especially now knowing what I know, like on YouTube, the way, and I guess we can segue this into, actually producing content on YouTube, is if you're going to be a content creator, this is going to be my first piece of advice to you. Don't think that you're going to be broad, that you're going to do tons of different topics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't have DIY videos, with, like golfing videos, with like, fashion videos. You can't have all that crap on one channel. And the reason is because of YouTube's algorithm. Because basically, if you convolute your content, YouTube, the algorithm doesn't know what to do with you. It doesn't know who to feed your content to.
Gotcha.
And people on YouTube, and I'm a consumer of content on YouTube. So this is me lumping myself in with this statement. We're very one track minded.
Gotcha.
If there's a guy that we watch for one thing, that's generally what we want to watch from that creator. We don't want that creator suddenly doing 10 other things. I'm pretty sure there's some psychology baked in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is.
So it'd be like having one person do, like have multiple channels kind of thing. I guess multiple channels, like 2 or 3 or something, if they had like 3 topics that they were hardcore into, like live stream or streaming Diablo, golf, and then, I don't know, cooking, to have 3 different channels versus just try to do one that does everything.
Yes. And see, that's a perfect example because, like, if you say, hey, I like Diablo, I like fishing, and I like golf, don't try to do all 3 of those content on one channel.
Yeah.
Do a channel for Diablo, a channel for golf, and then a channel for fishing.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, which gives you impressions, which pushes your content out to people to watch, it's going to have a better gauge of what your content is and who wants to watch it. Now, if you hodgepodge it and you mix it all up, the algorithm doesn't know what to do with your content. It doesn't really know who to push it to. And the interesting thing about it is YouTube as a platform, like on my channel, I was just doing uploaded videos. I got into pressing the live button and doing live streams.
Yep.
I love doing live streams because it gives the people that would watch my videos a chance to interact with me live and be more engaged.
Yeah.
Well, there's psychology behind that as well, of people having parasocial connections with the creator. Now, there's tons and tons of science and data behind this, but just know this. YouTube generated $36 billion in revenue in 2024.
Good Lord.
Okay. Now, to couple that with what we're talking about in this conversation, 62% of internet users in the United States access YouTube every day.
62%.
62%.
Good Lord.
Now,
I don't actually find that number all that surprising. If I thought it might be a little higher than
every day, though.
I'm one of the other percentage.
Every day.
Because I'm
Yeah,
never
every
on
day.
YouTube. I never look at YouTube unless somebody sends me a short of some sort, and that's the only time I'm ever on it.
Yeah.
Multiple times every day for me.
Really?
Multiple times every day. Yeah.
I don't even think about it.
It sucks me down the rabbit hole.
I'm on there every once
yeah,
in a while,
now-
and I just let Brad build up his videos, and then I'll just go, bum rush all of his videos and see what he had put out.
Well, see, what's funny about that is the suggested videos will get you into trouble. And that just is a testament to how good the algorithm is. Because when people say, hey, man, I went on YouTube to watch a video on how to fix my toilet, and 4 hours later, I'm watching about guys getting hit in the nuts. How did this happen?
Squirrel.
That's a testament to how good the algorithm is at pushing content to you that you're going to be engaged with. But here's the thing about the internet, social media in general, because YouTube is part of that ecosystem. Here's an interesting fact. From the analytic data that they track, 87% of viewers made a purchase of a product after seeing a brand on YouTube.
Good Lord.
I'm not guilty of that.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever clicked an ad and was like, ooh, that looks like something I want to buy. But that number is pretty staggering. And to Tammy's point, something you also got to keep in mind here, YouTube is the second biggest search engine behind Google on the internet. And Google owns YouTube too, also, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alphabet, yeah.
Yeah, Alphabet.
Yeah, the bigger umbrella company there, yeah.
Yeah.
But and it's crazy because like right now in the US, which is the biggest consumer market, 54% of marketers right now in the United States use YouTube as a primary pushing platform. And they say that going into the end of this year, they kind of cumulatively predict a 5% uplift in that. So you're talking about pushing almost 60% of marketing budgets going to YouTube. So this kind of goes into, should you start a YouTube channel? Well, yes, because right now YouTube has 113, well, almost 114 million channels on YouTube. All right. Now here's the kicker. Only 4.4% of the 2.6 billion active users have created their own channel.
So most everybody is there just to look at everybody else.
To consume.
To everybody else's stuff.
Consume. Right. And see, and the thing about consumption, to me, this is a figure that blew my mind. More than 500 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube every minute.
Every minute?
Every minute. 500 hours
and how many
of video uploaded every minute.
How many channels did you say YouTube had?
About 114 million.
And what's the population of the U.S.?
330 million,
Good
something
Lord.
like that.
Okay, Brad, I just looked up something. Both Brads, actually. That's going to, it blew my mind, and I still can't believe it, even though I'm reading it. 3 of the top 5 YouTube channels are Hindi language channels.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, something called T-Series, SET
T-Series.
India,
Well, T-Series.
and Sony SAB.
Well, here's the thing about T-Series. T-Series gets more views, but if you go by raw subscribers, raw subscribers, Mr. Beast right now is currently leading that charge because he's casting his content, which is genius, he's having it dubbed in other languages, so he can put it on like the YouTube in South America for like Portuguese and in China or wherever. He's doing it in different markets. So that's why Mr. Beast himself has, Jimmy's got like 350 million subscribers.
Good Lord.
386 as of right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Jesus.
Yeah, 386. Give or take 20, 30 million. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
What's it going to hurt at
just
that
a drop
point?
in the bucket.
Yeah, what's it going to hurt at that point?
But here's another number, since you want to talk about, the subscribers to a channel. When you look at just the raw numbers of people that interact with YouTube, plus the content creators that interact with YouTube. Only 10 million channels, a little bit over 10 million channels on YouTube have 1,000 or more subscribers to them.
Wow.
And what's crazy is if you just raise the threshold to 10,000 subs, which is where I'm trying to claw my way to, less than 2 million channels have 10,000 or more subs.
Jeez.
So yeah, you can say that, once you hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, that you can kind of say that, well, I've done something.
Yeah.
Because that's a pretty good club to be in when you consider there's 114 odd million created channels.
Yeah.
Do
you think some of them have that problem that you were talking about before about having too much variety, and it's limiting their subscribers and people who look at their stuff?
Well, to describe it that way, I fall into that category. And there is a technological two-step that you have to play by on YouTube because, you are on their platform. It's ran a certain way. Content is curated a certain way. It's pushed to viewers a certain way. And if you want to be successful, you have to go with the flow because you're not going to change the sphere that we operate in. You're either going to capitulate and go along, or you're just going to get left out. And there's some people that I watch that are smaller channels, and this is what's mind-boggling to me. In the space of opening stupid boxes, and recording myself doing it, there's people that I watch that are better than me.
You mean doing the same thing?
The exact same thing. Their videos are better. Their production is better. Their delivery's better. They get no views.
Really?
Now, the question is, well, I can look at that and I'm like, man, why is this channel not doing anything? And one of the strangest things that whenever people have asked me about, we've talked about YouTube, because trust me, nobody's ever asked me for advice on YouTube. And I would be the last person you would ever ask for advice on YouTube. But looking at my own channel, I have one video that's got 880,000 views.
Jeez.
And it's a video I absolutely hate because it was so bad.
Which one is it? Producer,
it's my MRE. It's my MRE content comparison video. And all you gotta do is go to my channel, go to videos, and just type in, hit popular, and it'll be the first one to pop up. Hang on a second, let me get my glasses. Because everybody that knows me knows I'm blind. I can't see. Okay, The video right now, I did this video 3 years ago. I uploaded it April 5th, 2022. It's got 899,498 views.
Is that the one where you had the 3 different MREs, the 3 different brands?
I had two, the two different. I had a genuine military and I had a XMRE.
Gotcha.
And what's crazy about that, I still get, 5, 10, 15,000 views a month on that video.
Good Lord.
And I thought for sure by now the steam would have ran out of that video because, 900,000, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Especially with just 2 MREs.
But here's the thing. It's not a good video. So why is YouTube pushing it?
But is it not a good video in your opinion? Because it doesn't sound like that's the opinion of other people.
Yeah, right.
Oh no, I get roasted quite a bit in my comment section for how that video sucks. People tell me how, this video's stupid. Get to the point. You talk too much. Your face is stupid. I mean.
Yeah, people
haters gonna hate.
Yeah, people will they talk too much trash on the damn internet. Don't see anybody.
Well,
else.
Internet
dude told me
tough
I look
guys.
like a.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, a dude told me, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm good at roasting people, and I just talked about this on my live stream a couple of days ago. I said, I'm good at roasting people, and I'll hurt your feelings. But, to roast, you can't roast somebody from a comment section.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, in my world on social media, I got the microphone.
Oh yeah.
So I will tear you up.
Yep, you're running it.
And you're not going, but I'm going to tell you something. I had one dude get under my skin in the comment section one time since I've been on YouTube, one time. And it's in that video. Homeboy said I look like Osama.
Oh.
I think I remember seeing that when I was reading the comments.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I went back and I looked at the picture, and I said, "God, dog, I do."
Oh, you thought you did? Oh, that's even worse.
Man, that guy left that comment. He got up under my skin. I ain't gonna lie. That.
So you didn't respond to him and say that, yeah, you're right. I do look like Osama.
No.
So did you buy Schmog and try it on just to see how it went?
No, but don't tempt me because I do got him and I ain't doing that. So
I'm just saying, it might be funny.
You can do 2.0 of those MREs and then put the thing on and then just maybe dub it in Arabic.
Well, one of the funny things about that is that's one thing I'm gonna do, because I've got so many MREs that I've been going through now, and I'm like, I want to know. I just for my own experiment, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want to redo that video, but put in the title like 2025. You know what I mean? And that that's going to make people click on it, because they know, oh, hey, this is a new video, right? Or something relevant that's going to be newer. And I'm going to redo that video just to see.
Well, when we do a podcast, he puts like version 2.0 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I did Diablo and I did 1 and then I did 1.1, 1.2.
Yeah.
Because it was just like a little sub thing of it. It just worked. It just worked for me and the way my head works. That was the only reason I did it that way. Because I mean, we want to come back and revisit mental health and VA benefits and stuff like that. And I've got one I'm going to do soon on just like military. And I got way too many military friends, so I'm going to have a variety of military folks come on and just talk about experiences and stuff. So mine will be labeled 1.1, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it sounds like your overall experience with YouTube has been good, huh?
To be honest, where I sit today, no.
No?
My experience on YouTube has not been. It's been a learning experience, and it's not been what I wanted it to be, because now I know the things that I should have done. When I started.
So do you not? Do you not feel that you can start turning the wheel towards what you want to do, or is it just going to mess up the algorithm and it just wouldn't get you where you want to be?
Okay, depending on who you talk to, and I have connections to hire definitely more successful creators than me through creator studios and stuff, and some creative, like seminars that I attend, some virtual, these virtual things that you go to where you have creators that, have like 1 million+ subscribers, and they come in and they basically look at your channel and tell you how dumb you are and how you're doing everything wrong and things need to change, and, I listen to all that. And now this is going to get into territory where I can tell you there is opposition to everything I'm about to say, and the opposition is going to come from the people that love my channel.
Yeah.
Okay. They would tell you that everything I'm about to say is wrong, and the advice I get is you need to structure thumbnails a certain way, because thumbnails make or break a video. Because it's your first line of exposure to your audience. And if your thumbnail does not grab their attention, they're not going to click on it. Well, the problem is within the algorithm side of YouTube, you only have so many chances, because the algorithm is going to take my video when I upload it. The algorithm is going to then push, which is what YouTube refers to as an impression. They're going to push that content to people's landing pages. If you open YouTube and my thumbnail appears on your landing page, the algorithm has selectively, curated all that content that you see when you open YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, if my thumbnail is not clicked on, okay, well,
They'll stop
that's
pushing it.
that's a negative click through.
Yeah.
Because you do have a click through rate, which basically all the click through rate is, hey, the algorithm says we pushed out your thumbnail, 1,000 times to 1,000 people, and only 10 people clicked on it.
Yeah. So they stop.
Right.
So they
Right.
stop putting it up there because it's just not worth it. At
Right.
least, at
So
least
the
for YouTube.
algorithm-
Yeah.
Right. So the algorithm says, well, look, we're only going to push content that people click on. Now, a lot of people kind of they jump on the ledge, about the algorithm. What people need to understand, and this makes me look bad because I'm not more successful than I am, and I know this, what I'm about to tell you. The algorithm is there for a financial reason, because the end all goal of YouTube is to put content in front of people that will stay engaged enough for YouTube to run ads, because that's their motivation.
Yeah. Make money.
So, correct, because they need the ad revenue. Well, if your content, for whatever reason, the thumbnail, my face is stupid, whatever. If people don't engage with it, well, there's no benefit for
Yeah.
YouTube to push it. So a lot of people go on, they go down conspiracy kind of rabbit holes about being shadow banned and all this, that, and the other. And you got to understand, there is a one color that YouTube cares about above all else, and that's green. They care about the money. So now, will people at YouTube be able to go in there and, kind of say, hey, if you're a little on the right, you ain't getting nothing. Yeah, they can do that.
Really?
And they can ban certain things, and they do. Like, I don't know how explicit you want me to be on your show,
Oh,
but
much as you want.
the word rape, you never hear people say that on YouTube. They always say grape.
Really?
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason for that. Like, for example, on my videos, and you know me, you know how much I cuss. It's very hard for me to not cuss. I have trained myself to not cuss in the videos. Well, why? Because the algorithm doesn't like profanity.
Didn't you also say something about whenever you're drinking on there, you don't say beer or something like that? You always say you're drinking apple juice or something weird or something funny.
Yeah. Well, I just do that for kind of more of a joke, but to be honest, I do that because you never know what is programmed into the algorithm as, like unfavorable behavior.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the algorithm, they could say, well, hey, if you got a channel that's just doing whiskey reviews, right? Well, that's probably a little bit different because there is a market for that.
Yeah.
But now, if you're just drinking for the sake of drinking, right, on a video, that's, you know what I'm saying? That puts that activity in a different context.
Yeah.
Because if you're just drinking and you're not specifically talking about, the taste or, whatever, you're doing a review, well, then the algorithm has a path to push that content. If you're doing a review of a bourbon or whatever, well, hey, I have a path, a conduit to push this to people that will seek out through the search engine to say, hey, hey, give me a, review of Blanton's,
Yeah.
Well, then the algorithm says, okay, well, this is viable. But if you're just drinking on a video for the sake of drinking, well, could that be different? Maybe. I don't know. But as a YouTuber, people that want their content to be pushed out, they would err more on the side of playing it safe and being milquetoast.
Just not having it there to make sure the algorithm doesn't kind of do a scratch on you kind of thing. Yeah,
well,
and you can do stuff. And like you said, you could do. It's funny you brought up the drinking thing because we actually got a guy that we work with. at another unit who has a podcast, and all he talks about is bourbon. And he's got,
Yeah.
is he on YouTube?
He's on YouTube as well. His
Is he?
channel is The Bourbon Road, but he only has 441 subscribers on YouTube. And he has more videos than he has subscribers. He has 454 videos and 441 subscribers.
I mean, I can see that happening. Because I mean, like, all you're doing when you subscribe is just to have the little ping pop up. Hey, they dropped a new video, and it's just like, I know to go there. I don't need to do all that.
Right. Well, the thing about it is, from the creator side, like anytime you watch, if you watch YouTube videos, you see creators begging, hey man, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, ring the notification bell, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And trust me, as a content creator, nobody wants to really do that. Nobody really wants to go through that spiel every single video. Problem is, the algorithm likes it. The algorithm likes when people subscribe to your channel because it's engagement. It likes it when you like a video, because if you like a video, that's engagement. If you comment, again, it's engagement. And for the longest time, creators didn't really understand until, it came out from YouTube that, the thumbs up and thumbs down, people would get bent out of shape if people would thumbs down their video. Well,
they don't really,
unbeknownst to a lot of people, it didn't matter.
Yeah, because they were
the
engaging.
Algorithm didn't care.
Yeah, they're engaging, and so that's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't care if it was a thumbs up or a thumbs down. The algorithm looked at it as engagement, so it didn't care. But I've watched other creators that they do these crazy deep dives on how to get the algorithm on your side or whatever. And I hate talking about the dude, but Mr. Beast, Jimmy, in his younger days, that's all he did. If you go back and watch some of his younger self videos, he did the stupidest stuff. Like, he had a video where he just counted.
What?
He turned the camera on and just started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He just started counting.
And people watched it.
Yeah. But where he was really smart, he wanted to know what makes people click on a video. And I'm talking about, he went down a psychological rabbit hole that marketers have perfected with colors. What colors are more favorable, more attractive than other colors?
Oh, geez.
I mean, yeah.
That's just way too much.
Well, look at where he sits right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it. It's just that's way more than I'd want to look into things. Everybody that listens to my channel or the podcast knows that I'm way more simplistic than that.
Okay, Brad, how much money is Mr. Beast making every month?
Oh, geez.
Too much. Too much.
Yeah, each month.
Probably from YouTube. He probably makes
10 million.
He probably makes 30 million a month off YouTube, probably.
I say 10. He's looking it up.
But here's the kicker. That's not where Mr. Beast makes his money. YouTube, I'm pretty sure his YouTube money could just go to like a separate account that his girlfriend or his wife, I don't know if he's married or yet not.
Estimated 3 to 5 million a month.
Good Lord.
3 to 5? Okay. Yeah, and see, to him, that's nothing. Like, he could, like I said, he could have that going to a separate account he never sees. His woman could just use that for spending money.
Baby Kangaroo, look up what his net worth is.
Just did.
There we go.
They don't have a good number on it, actually.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Anywhere between
it's around 300.
Anywhere between 30 million and 177 million is what this one website says. So
I would
I'm
go
keep
more
looking.
on the high side.
Jeez.
Yeah, I would steer more on the high side of that figure.
The funny thing is I've never seen one Mr. Beast video.
Never even
don't.
heard of him.
Because they're dumb. No offense. No offense to anybody out there that likes Mr. Beast.
No.
I've never found any entertainment in his videos at all. Especially now that you find out that some of them are rigged and they're all fake. To me, I don't see. But I'm gonna tell you something. The interesting thing about one of the first viral videos that he did, and he's told the story. He was working with a brand, and they were going to pay him, for I don't know if it's a product placement or something, but they were going to. I think he said they were going to give him like $5,000, right? And he told the guy, he said, "I tell you what, double it, make it $10,000. I'll walk outside, and I'll give it to a homeless person, and I'll record it, and that video will go viral.
And he did?
And it did.
Oh, wow.
And what's funny, yeah, because if you don't watch Mr. Beast, then you wouldn't know this, but a lot of his early videos were doing stuff like that. Like he rented. I seen one video where he rented a shop in a strip mall, and he filled it with TVs, game consoles, just all kinds of crap.
Yeah.
And he opened the store, and everything in it was $1. I mean, like a $3,000 TV is $1. And he just set cameras up, and he had people come in, and he just recorded people coming in and buying all this stuff
And their reactions, just to see what they would do.
and right, and because that's what it is. It's the reaction that people want to watch, and that it's a weird psychology of people, people that film people's reaction to reunions, like especially soldiers coming home.
Yeah.
And people filming like, hey, it's a dad or a mom going to the school and surprising their kid. And, those videos get tons and tons of views because it's something that it's relatable, and it has a psychological effect on people. And,
It's like
we
dog
talked about
rescues.
this.
They do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Those,
right.
What is it, ASPCA videos, when they always show those sad dogs?
I can't listen to Sarah McLachlan because of that.
I can't either.
I mean, you put Sarah McLachlan on, all I do is
Just
see
start-
a
crying.
German Shepherd that's been
Yep.
beat and ran over like in the cage looking pathetic and start crying. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my God.
Yeah, I can't do
Okay,
that
so
stuff.
Mr. Beast in 2024, Beast Industries generated $473 million.
What?
He's expected
Yeah.
to double that in 2025. He says his net
Yeah,
worth
'cause
on paper is over $1 billion, but he only has like $1 million in the bank.
Good Lord.
I totally would not believe that.
That goes back to that one thing that Trevor Knight or Trevor, what's his name, was talking about with I'm worth $1 billion, but
Yeah.
I don't have $1 billion,
Yeah,
but
it-
yet I tax on
Yeah, it was
whatever.
the Elon Musk thing. Yeah, we can't tax you on your stocks that you have, but you can use the stocks to buy something else. But yet we can't tax you on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like that guy, but I thought that was a genius way to put it.
That's just haterade.
I mean, it was if you watch the clip of him doing that on his show, it was just because they were talking about taxes and how much Elon Musk is worth, and they're like, we can't tax Elon Musk on his Tesla stocks, but he can use his Tesla stocks to buy something, but it's not money, and we can't tax you on it. And it was just like, that was some really fucked up shit, and I totally agree with it.
It's totally not.
I mean, I think it's fucked
that's
up.
how you leverage. That's how you leverage assets. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, like say I had, and this is going to be a very simplistic example, but just follow me.
Right up simplistic up my alley.
You have $1 million, right? You have $1 million, and let's say you lose your mind one day with this $1 million, and you say, hey, I'm going to go buy $1 million worth of automobiles. A very, very bad depreciating asset choice, right?
Yep.
So your average person who has no financial training, no insight into how finance works at all, would be inclined to say, hey, I've got this $1 million in my bank account. Let me go write a check for all these vehicles for $1 million. Now you have zero money, and you have all these cars that are a very bad depreciating asset. So you're essentially, you just mashed the gas to going broke.
Yeah.
Or you do something smart. You put the $1 million in some very high, yielding, investment vehicles that say yield you, I don't know, let's just say $60,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you take that $60,000 a year after you pay taxes on it, because your tax liability is going to be a lot less because you're not paying earned income tax rates. You take that money and you then leverage the capital to get a line of credit at a bank. Say, hey, give me a line of credit for $1 million against this brokerage account. Sure, we'll do that. And then you take the money, the interest off that money, and then you pay back with interest, right? on the loan for the $1 million of vehicles. Well, now you're sitting there, and yes, you don't have the interest, right? But you have the $1 million in your brokerage account, and you got $1 million worth of vehicles. Now you're going to say that's not fair? Sounds to me like it's just a smart way to manage your money.
Yeah, but you're I don't know. You're using the vehicle thing and it's tangible because I mean we're just talking about stocks that fluctuate, and it's just
Okay,
that,
what
and
does
it's
that have
just
to do with
and it-
anything?
well, it's just that you have using Elon using the stocks to be able to buy something is a form of currency, and if you can buy something with that, then you should still be able to get taxed on something. And I'm not saying that he did the way he did it
When did
is
you become
legal.
a Democrat?
No, the way he did it was legal, and that's fine. But I mean, if you can do something like that, I mean, why can't we tax you on
I'm
that?
reminded of something that Donald Trump said in one of the debates years ago when he said, I know the system is broken
Oh, yeah.
because I use it.
Yeah.
And politicians don't want to change the system
No.
because they use it too.
Yeah.
So people who go rant and rave about it will stop electing people that are going to abuse the system. It's that simple.
Well, I'm waiting for the person to come out who comes up against that. Somebody that says, because nobody's going to fix it because they want to get in on it too. So it's not going to get fixed because once you get elected, you're like, sweet, I'm here and I can use it too. And it's like, well, okay, we can't elect anybody to fix it because nobody wants to fix it. They want to get there and use it themselves.
I think we've digressed.
Yeah, we ventured off. Okay, so you were talking
I
about
will be. If I ever get rich, I will be doing all of those kind of shenanigans. I don't care what y'all say.
Oh, I mean, I would too because it's there and you can. But I mean, I would like to run for office just to say that I would, and then actually go change it. But I mean, one person's not going to make a difference because takes majority of Congress to actually change anything.
Well, here's the other side of this argument that you're making about it not being fair that Elon should be able to do that. Okay, so you want him to be taxed. Okay, well, what? Tell me what that's going to solve. You want Elon taxed. Okay, so Elon gets taxed. Okay, now what? Now what does that do?
I mean, it helps if enough rich people who are continuously do that are taxed, and they pay more in taxes, they can slowly start to sway the tax thing to alleviate the taxes on the poorer people like myself.
Flat taxes for everybody.
See, I'd be okay with a flat tax. I have yet to hear there are negatives from way out from conversations that I've had with people, but I mean, I'm a flat tax, just flat and make it done. Okay, I think I think we're veering now.
Yeah, we're veering. Let's
Yeah.
That is sort of the MO of this channel,
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna come back. We'll talk more about this in the happy hour.
Actually, Brad, I had a question for you about YouTube. We'll go right back to it. I know YouTube recently, past 6-12 months, something like that, they restructured their monetization. And did you see your channel have a change in that because of it?
The monetization stays pretty much in a constant state of flux. One of the things they did 6 to 12 months ago didn't affect me because what they did probably 5 years ago, you had to have reached certain thresholds to even apply for monetization. And over the years, they've slowly kind of chipped away at it to where they've loosened the reins, to make it a lot easier to become a YouTube partner. So when you talk about that, that's kind of what you're speaking to, is that they kept making it easier. Like they would lower how many subscribers your channel had to have. I think one of the things they kept was like the 1,000 or 2,000 watch hours within a 365-day period, which, is if you're pumping out content and you're getting views. I mean, I get 4,000 hours in a month, so it's not that difficult to do as long as you're putting out content. So they recently lowered it to, I believe you can have like 500 subscribers. And as long as you can hit the watch hours, then yeah, you can totally apply for the YouTube Partner Program and get monetized. So they've constantly been chipping away at the thresholds that have to be met for you to become a YouTube partner. And I think, and this is just my opinion, the reason they're doing that is because, like, my other channel that shall remain nameless, I can go on there and like before this show, I pulled up that channel and I was just kind of looking at it and I clicked on one of my videos and I got ads on an unmonetized video. YouTube was pushing an ad that they got paid for on my video that I'm not going to get paid for. Now,
so they can just insert ads into any video that's on their platform?
Well, I don't know, but all I know is that them videos are not they're not monetized, and I just sat and watched an ad on my video, and that I know that they ain't doing it for free. So YouTube is definitely billing out that like half a penny. So yeah. So I guess at the end of the day, YouTube wants to incentivize people. Obviously they want people incentivized to create content, because at the end of the day, content is the vehicle through which YouTube gets to sell ads. So they have an incentive, for you to be a successful creator, because they're going to make money off of you. Now, something that I just wanted to see if this made a difference or not, every time I open my creator studio, YouTube has constantly been, harassing me about engaging channel memberships, which is where, I set up brackets, that people can pay, to be a member of.
Like a tier level kind of thing?
Yeah. And then, what it does, I can be lazy and just say, hey, just, subscribe to my channel if you want to, support the content, support me and help me out, man. Help me grow the channel. Help me, all the lies that everybody says, like I'm going to be putting all the money back into the channel, Well, no, I guess it's not fair to say it's lies. Well, pretty much that's lies almost everybody else tells. But, or, you can give them special perks. You can do member-only content, videos, live streams, stuff like that. And now, a lot of people, not me, that have really cool channel names and create like a cool logo, they'll turn that into merch, because that's what you do, because ultimately when you create a YouTube channel, whether or not you know this or you're doing this with intent, whenever you create a YouTube channel, you are creating a brand, whether you know it or not. And at the end of the day, if you get successful, if you find success and you find engagement and relatability, then that is a brand that then can be leveraged for monetary gain through merchandise, through sales referrals, through product endorsements, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of guys do that. And one of the monetization things that YouTube did do a little while ago was YouTube kind of went to these creators and said, you're selling this merch and you got links to it on YouTube that take people off of YouTube. You can't do that no more.
Yeah, they won't their cut.
If you want to, so now YouTube has a merchandise section where now you sell merch. Now, but here's the kicker. The good part's coming. It'll put your merch under the, your banner, under the video above the description, right?
Yeah.
Guess what? Oh, it'll put the thumbnail of the shirt or the hat. It'll put the price. You click on the link, it'll take you to a fulfillment place that'll send it to you. YouTube gets a cut of the money.
A cut of the money that you would have made? So if you charge $20 for a shirt, they're going to get $5?
They get a cut of it. Yep.
Oh, jeez.
And that's the goal. YouTube. So everything you touch on the platform, YouTube gets a cut of. Like the channel memberships that I do, YouTube takes, I think, 30% of that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. If you do that tier system, do they take cuts of that? But apparently, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like a 70-30 cut.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So do you?
But
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, kind of finishing up what I was saying earlier, when you do create engagement though, like the people that interact with me, when I created the channel membership, okay, I wasn't doing it to be a douche and just say, give me money, give me money. I was creating it to see, like, okay, if I go along with what YouTube wants me to do and they see that I did that, will they give me more impressions? Will they push my content out more? Because now YouTube really is
I'm
more
sure.
incentivized.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
And I'm waiting to see if that, and now the crazy thing that happened though, some of the people that watch my channel, I was doing a live stream, and one of my viewers said, "Hey, I've noticed that I've got this subscribe button," and I clicked on it, and you can do these channel memberships, and I'm like, yeah, I did that because I want to see if YouTube, by me engaging that, if YouTube will push my content out. And dude, I had like 7 people subscribe to my channel.
Oh wow.
And that it led into a talk about the parasocial side of YouTube, social media, all this crap, and which I don't know. Like I told you before we started this show, that's kind of a rabbit hole you can go down. That to me is fascinating because I had an experience with that happened to me personally, and I will just go ahead and say this, and if you guys want to piggyback on this or go down this rabbit hole, I'm more than happy to with you. But all of my entertainment, pretty much 90% of it comes from YouTube. I have a bunch of channels that I love to watch. There's a bunch of creators I love to interact with. So
Baby
pretty
Kangaroo's
much
over
all
here shaking his head. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even when I'm at work, I have my phone Bluetooth to my earbuds, and I'm listening to I'm listening to shows through YouTube on, while I'm doing other things. So,
Jeez.
I was sitting there and we were talking, and I said, the parasocial side of social media is just crazy. It's psychologically how it's transformed social norms, social interaction. It's mind-boggling the effect that it's had. And now I'm gonna preface this by saying it ain't all good. A lot of it is very, very detrimental to especially younger people.
Yeah.
And and one of the things that I kind of lamented, I said, hey, I love to go to theme parks. I love to watch theme park vloggers. I watch Mammoth Club. I love Molly over at Mammoth Club. I love Rick's Flicks. And we happened to be in Universal Studios, and me and Leah, my youngest daughter, we were going to ET, right?
Yeah.
And I know where a lot of these guys live stream from, because I see the background. So
Yeah.
I know in the park, where these guys generally kind of hide and do their thing. And so we're walking over there, and I look over and I see this dude in this bright yellow shirt. And I'm like, no way.
It was one of those
And I
people.
said, that's Rick. Yeah, it's like, that's Rick. And I'm going to tell you something. For a minute, I stepped out of my body, and I was a little fan. I went up to him. Hey, Rick, man, what's up, dude? I mean, I love your YouTube channel, man. I love your content. And I'm just kissing this dude's butt. He don't know me from nobody. He just probably thinking, oh, God, it's another crazy fan. Let me get him out of here. And I'm like, yeah, man.
So how did he react?
Do, man. Oh, he was nice as can be. He was like, oh, man, I appreciate it, And he said, you want to take a selfie? And I'm like, man, hell yeah, I want to take a selfie. Dude, I forgot Leah was there.
Oh, yeah, just
I pulled
daughter,
my
daughter fell to
phone
the
out, man. I pulled my phone out. Yeah, man, I was taking selfies with him, and it was cool because I didn't want to linger. I was like, all right, man, hey, appreciate you. Have a good day, and kept on walking. Man, I had a big grin on my face. I text Carrie because they were over at the Harry Potter. They were over there at Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
And I text her the picture.
It sounds like you were more impressed with the guy than you were the park.
Yeah, it was just, dude, it was like meeting somebody famous.
I don't think it's like meeting somebody famous. You met somebody famous.
Well,
I mean, how many people follow him on YouTube?
I don't know.
What was the guy's name?
I don't know, to be honest with you. It's Rick's Flicks. Hang on, I'll look him up real quick. Let's see.
Yeah, if you look at
But
my
anyway-
YouTube channel, my feed, like all the things that I followed, you'd think I had ADD with the.
You do have ADD.
133,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he's got
wearing
133,000.
and he's wearing a yellow shirt in the little.
That's
thing.
actually not that many.
It's enough to get some money.
But here's the crazy thing, okay?
and that's-
But listen, here's the crazy part about it, okay? What in my mind? Now this is a creator that I just watch. It's a very one-way interaction, okay?
Yeah.
I don't participate in his live streams, so I don't live chat with the guy or nothing. But when I saw him in real life, I had a moment, you know, where I'm like, oh my God, man, you know, and so what that triggered in me was me thinking about these connections that people make with people on social media.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, and it's like, you know, like I get 20 people, you know, in my live streams that always show up.
Yeah.
And, you know, these, you know, we were talking about it one night, and I said, you know, they were talking about, you know, the interactions, and a lot of them were like, yeah, man, this is like hanging out with friends, you know, and they get value out of it. And I'm like, well, is that real, or is that, you know, or is that
they
you want that?
They
and so you
label
create
it. They label it because I've actually had a couple of people that listen to the podcast. They were like, I want to come on and do a podcast with y'all because I listened to it and I felt like I was there. And then sometime, you know, a couple of days after that, I wound up listening or reading this fucking article, whatever it was. And it was like, there is a psychology part of that to where it's like, and I forget how they worded it, but it was like an outside friendship thing because they enjoy hearing you do your thing. And they're like, man, I feel like I'm part of that because I'm sitting out there listening. So, I mean, I get it. And I know there are some things. Wait a
minute. Here's the reason why I said that doesn't seem like a whole lot. There's a one-man machine shop in Australia, has a YouTube channel, and he has 888,000 subscribers.
Good Lord.
And all he does is show himself
building,
fixing things and making things, and that's it.
Well, see, people like that, though, might be looking for inspiration. And this Rick Flicks guys that Brad's talking about, I find it one thing. He's doing the one thing. He's just going to theme parks and showing a theme park.
Yeah, but I would think that would be pretty popular. It's just maybe that there's too many people that are doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, wouldn't you rather go to the theme park? You might jump on there real quick to see what it looks like and be like, oh, that's what I want to go do. Versus this guy's fixing stuff and they're looking for inspiration. Because I do woodworking with wooden pallets, but I'll look on the internet to try to find something to inspire me of something that I want to make. And as a matter of fact, I was looking for something the other day I want to make for a dual lightsaber holder. And I found something that inspired me. Yeah, hell yeah. And I made a lightsaber with Brad at freaking Disney.
Nerds.
I found something that inspired me. And I was like, that's what I want to do. So, I mean.
Let me tell you something. You just jealous.
Okay, y'all can have your lightsabers. I'll take my SIG 320 Legion, and we'll see who wins that fight.
Well, I'm going to swing my lightsaber around after I shoot you with my 9 before you even get to yours. So, you know. But no, the Rick Flicks thing, one thing I was going to say about that was this guy probably got to a point to where this is all he does now. And the income that he's making is literally paying for him to travel to these different theme parks and make content when he gets to the theme park. So, I mean, not saying the guy's doing bad because he's probably got his dream job, which was, man, I always loved theme parks. And now I make enough money just to go travel around to theme parks and keep doing it.
Okay.
So, I mean,
hang on, real quick. Let me interject. Okay, just real quick. Yeah. I can give you the breakdown on Rick because I've been in some of the streams where he's been asked this exact question and he answered it. So I can answer that. Okay, what you're just saying, I can answer that. Okay.
What you got?
Okay, hang on a second. But I'm gonna make one more point real quick. Since you talking about, you know, subs and YouTube channels, you can go to Mountain Rug Cleaning. This is a dude that pressure washes rugs. He's got 1.9 million subs.
Oh, come
and all he does is pressure wash rugs.
Well, because it's probably that, like you said, that psychological, that satisfying feeling of watching like all the dirt and grossness come
off. That's it.
But I mean,
that's it.
You know?
I mean, I know it works because go log on to Xbox right now. There's a power washing game. all you do is pressure wash stuff. You clean the
Oh
car.
yeah, man, there sure is. Yeah.
And I saw
yeah.
that. I was like, are you fucking kidding? Because I mean, they got cut the grass things. They've got power washing. I was just like, why?
Yep.
I don't like power washing in real life. Why do I want to
Hey,
try to do my thumbstick to make it power? I was like, this is just
hey, have you seen the guys on Twitch that play the truck driving simulators that have they have the things built like they're in a truck, like they're in a semi rig? And I'm sitting here watching this on Twitch, and I'm like, why don't you just go buy a rig?
Because nobody wants to do it in real life.
What you're doing. I mean, you could even drive the rig in your underwear if you wanted to. But I mean, you're to me, that's taking a little far. Okay, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rick.
Yeah, tell me about
Rick was doing a live stream. Okay, and he primarily goes to Universal Studios, and he goes like every day, almost every day. And somebody said in one of his live streams, they super chatted him, and they're like, "Man, don't you get tired of going and walking around these theme parks, every day?" He said, "I don't see how you can do it." And Rick, who's, he's kind of a jovial, positive kind of guy. That dude, in that moment, he got super serious.
Really?
Just, you could tell by how he was talking. That man just got serious. And he said, my whole working adult life, he said, I worked in a cubicle in an office building.
Oh, yeah.
Where he said, I did not see the sun. And he said, I'm retired. Like, that's why he does this now. He's retired. And he said, I'm making up for lost time.
Oh,
and he said, I will come to this theme park every single day and just walk around to be outside.
Good for him.
And then what's crazy about it is, as he's saying this, people were commenting in the live stream, people saying that they love it because it's like they're there with him, like he's taking you with him.
Yeah.
Because he's showing you stuff, pointing stuff out. And I'm sitting here thinking, when you think the average person who is not an avid theme park, goer or whatever,
adventure.
The average person goes to a theme park that's going to go like once every 5 years.
Yeah.
And then there's a large portion that maybe only go once or twice to a theme park in their entire life.
Yeah.
So you take the bulk of the population that, will tune into this guy, and even people that are in Britain, that are in a different country, that may never get over here. They're living that experience through that guy's live stream, And I'm going to tell you something. I had another conversation about this same kind of phenomenon over these camping guys that do camping videos.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of these guys that do camping videos. Okay. They don't speak. They don't say a word. The whole video, it could be a 20-minute video of them in their car, driving to a campsite, getting out, setting up their camp, chopping some wood, cooking dinner, eating, maybe looking at a lake, and then they're setting up their bivvy or whatever, going to bed, and that's the end of the video. And they get,
that's it. Never say a word.
100,000 views.
Never say a word.
And never say a word. But I asked in a developer thing I was doing, and I said, I don't get that.
No.
Like, I get it that it's a cool video, but there's no engagement. And I had so many people tell me, dude, hearing those sounds of the woods, the campfire crackling, dude, it took me back to when I was a kid with my dad, going camping in the woods.
Just living vicariously through someone else. Yeah.
That never crossed my mind. And so now when I see those videos now, it puts me in a different headspace, because now I get it. I'm like, when I see people and you just hear the ambient sounds of like a stream or a brook running, or, them walking through the woods and hearing the rustling of all the environment and everything. So that to me was very interesting. A little bit of psychology there too on how those videos affect people.
Yeah.
So,
So with your channel, do you feel you get any mental health out of producing content for people?
Man, hell no.
No.
It just stresses me out.
I mean, all right, fair enough. Because I feel like I get something out of mine. I mean, I get something out of mine. I like being heard, not seen, and I enjoy the interaction, like having guests like you on and some of the other people that I had on. Like that helps me. And you and I talked offline about it, and I've said on here before that it really helps my mental health. So I was curious if you got anything out of that, but apparently you do not. It's can be kind of stressful.
Here's the thing. I love doing content. The problem I have with YouTube is not YouTube. It's me. It's myself. Because, I've talked about this on my live streams. I've constantly battled anxiety and depression ever since my dad died.
Yep.
And I've never recovered from that. Like, that's just something that climbed on my back, and I have a feeling it's going to ride me to the grave. I'm never going to get rid of it. And what that does to me is it saps my willpower.
Yeah.
Like I have so many plans of content that I want to make that never gets made, that I know would be good. And the thing that cripples me on YouTube is the fact that I know without a shadow of a doubt I could be way more on YouTube than I am. And what kind of has started to drill it into my head that that's true is the community of people that I have on my live streams, who, for whatever reason seem to love me. I don't know why, but they do.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing like playing Xbox. I mean, I've met some people on Xbox that I've talked to for 15 years I've never met in real life. So it's just associate thing, just something that if you're playing the games on Xbox with someone, then you already have something in common, whatever game you're playing, because you obviously both like it, and then you just start talking and become friends, kind of thing.
It's a way to connect in a different way that I don't think, we ever had until the invention of the internet and social media and it's become easier to find someone
Hey, thanks Al Gore for that, venting the internet.
That's right, he did.
I mean, it gives an outlet for a lot of people to make connections that they may not have ever made.
Yeah. So
well, that definitely is true, and that's what kind of sets the stage for how we interact here. Because, like you're saying, whenever you meet somebody face to face, the two of you have to find that common interest.
Yeah.
But online, the common interest, it's already there because that's how you met. You met through the common interest.
Yeah, and a thing and a downside on that's going to be, you might get along with that person on the game and talk shit on about real life stuff, and then if you was to meet in person, you probably wouldn't get along. Just because there's always always an X factor. I mean, I'm sure you would get along, but it might not be as good.
Yeah, because
like you might diminish the friendship kind of thing.
The only thing that you have in common is that one thing that you met on, and that's the only thing that you can relate to.
Well, I mean, you probably, like I said, me and Collins talked about real life stuff. You know, we're like, I love the man to death, but I mean, if we was to meet in real life, he might have some intricacies that don't show up over Xbox that he does in real life that just might drive me crazy, because there's always an X factor, whether in relationships, friendships, all that stuff. So all that comes into play also. Yeah.
Well, that is true. And, one thing you have to concede here is it is a give and take, because within every person, there's going to be things that you really like. And there's going to be some things you're like, okay, I don't like, doing this or that with this person, because of whatever reason. Yeah. But, one of the things, the interesting things that happened to me was during my tenure at Warcraft. I played Warcraft for so long, and the people that I had in my guild, I had them for years. I mean, I sat in a Ventrilo server talking, in a group of us, talking guys through divorces, through marriages, through children being born, them, letting, kind of talking about their first child being born, and, wanting to share, what their experience is, what they're going through. I mean, deaths in people's families, and to me now, when you talk about playing Xbox, okay, well, let's take us for an example. Me, you, Chris, and Kelly.
Yeah.
Our conversations weren't just around the game.
No.
No. Yeah. No.
Yes, the game. Yes, the game was the focus. And here's the thing that you can concede: that all four of us, we're very different people.
Oh yeah.
But you could put all four of us in a room together, and it's fine.
Yeah, because we've done it more than once.
Yeah. Right. And now, is that going to be? Is that going to be the norm? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
people out there that are buttwads, but it does go into it's weird how, and again, like I said, this is another rabbit hole of how
Oh yeah, we went down it. Haven't we?
how the internet has fundamentally changed how we interact with each other, and how really it changes how we form relationships. With expectations, because people. One of the things I've told people in my live chat, and I just told them this yesterday, I said, if you were here with me, like sitting across from me in this chair in my office, I said, the person that I am right now, this is who you would be interacting with, and to me on YouTube, if you create channels, you're going to go down one or two rabbit holes. You're either going to create a character, or you're just going to be you. And to me, if you're going to create a character, you better be really damn good at creating a character and selling it.
And sticking to it.
Yeah, and sticking to it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Or just be you. Because at the end of the day, there's no more powerful connection than being genuine.
Oh,
and because you can't fake that. You can't fake it. And if you try to be genuine when you're not, people will see through it.
Oh, eventually. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this real quick before I forget about it. Didn't mean to cut you off. You said, would you be willing to come back on again to talk about mental health, anxiety, and depression?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I also
all you gotta do is go to my live stream Friday, and you can clip a whole section of that out, because they made me have an MRI done, and they're telling me about the MRI. I've never had one done before. So the first problem, I'm in the waiting room having anxiety. They give me this form saying they're going to inject me with some shit that I have to sign off and say I'm okay with it.
The dye.
That I don't know. They say the risk outweighs
the gain,
the benefit, the benefit outweighs the benefit outweighs the risk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so the doctor, through his diagnostic, route, he's going to benefit more than me. That's basically what that says to me. The diagnostics is more beneficial than me. And I'm sitting here looking at where I got to sign it, and my leg goes to bouncing, and I'm starting, my anxiety is just ratcheting up. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yep.
And then when I finally calmed down and signed that stupid form, and they took me back there and, because I had to have a MRI done of my head. So I had to go into the machine head first. And then they put this thing over my head. I did not like it at all. And I had to do it twice.
I'm waiting for Baby Kangaroo to play that clip from Varsity Blues. They scanned my cat.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you, I was not happy. I mean, and
those MRIs
chick coming, because I couldn't hear, because I had to wear earplugs.
Yep.
That's because MRIs are really loud.
Did you get it done at TOG?
Yeah. What's that?
Did you get it done at TOG, the orthopedic group?
No, I got it done at the place on Hillcrest.
Oh, okay.
Infirmary imaging.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Good MRI places give you headphones and they play you music.
Well, I couldn't do it because they were doing my head.
You could still have headphones when you're doing your head.
Yeah, you're talking to a couple of people who have medical experience.
You have to remember, I was an MRI tech for 10 years.
Well, then why the hell did they give me earplugs?
Well, because the machine's loud. It's a higher decibel, and you have to still protect your hearing.
Yeah,
because Baby Kangaroo just said they're not really good people.
Well, because depending on the site, if the headphones don't fit in the cage that they put your head into, but like all the ones that I worked at, it was a requirement for me to have headphones that fit, whether they'll be.
Okay, well, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
It's really about how good the imaging facility is.
It is.
Whether they want to make their patients comfortable or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're
I
gonna.
wasn't comfortable. I mean, they put some shit on me, look like some Frankenstein shit.
Are you a little claustrophobic though, Brad?
Hell yeah, I'm claustrophobic.
Okay, then you needed to go to an open MRI instead of a closed MRI.
No, what I did, I kept my eyes shut the whole time, and I was just praying to Jesus. I said, "Please, Lord, be with me, and just give me some peace, so I don't like break." They gave me that ball to squeeze. You know, she said,
Denial.
"Hey, if
It's
something
not just a
happens,
river in
just
Egypt,
squeeze
is
the
it?
ball." Man, let me tell you something, dude.
Hang on, I'm gonna ask my medical professionals here, and then I'm gonna steer back to the YouTube, and we'll get on top of this. Can you get put out for an MRI if you're?
Yes.
You can.
Yeah, you can tell whoever's ordering, like your doctor who ordered the MRI. You can tell them that you're claustrophobic and that you need sedation, and they would have gave you medication
Really?
to take.
Well, they
It
screwed
won't-
me then.
Yeah.
It's light sedation. It's not like
Yeah, it's like
You're
sedation.
not
It would
out,
be,
out.
No,
You're
no,
just-
no.
you're Twilight.
They
Yeah,
would
okay.
probably give you like a Valium or something like that to take.
Well,
ahead of time.
known that, I would have took about 6 of my weed gummies before I went. I was all right.
You probably would have been fine had you
Yeah,
done
right?
that.
Okay, well, we're gonna steer back. We're gonna steer back to this. We're gonna come back in. All right. So on your channel, it looks like most of your videos are reviewing and doing subscription boxes. It looks like you also have you do some.
I don't review shit.
You don't review shit. It looks like you do. You open those
I
subscription
open boxes and I look at stuff. I don't, dude. I don't review nothing.
Well, I mean,
I just open up boxes and go, ooh, ah.
that's
this
a
is
review.
pretty. This sucks.
That's a review.
not a review.
That's a thumb up or thumbs down.
No,
You
it's
open up,
not.
you're like, this is crap.
No,
Like, well, there's a thumbs down.
That's not, dude. You cannot take a product. This is one of the problems I hate about my channel. You cannot open a box and just look at a product, especially an outdoor product, and just look at it and say, yeah, this is good. No, this is not good. You need to actually, and this is something that I want to start doing, is I want to open the box, all right? I want to do like segments. I want to open the box.
We already tried that.
And
You
show
didn't post the
everything.
video.
I know. Well, I'm going to start because I've got, I got to make a change, man. I got to reevaluate my life.
I told you I'd help you with that if you wanted, but I mean, I didn't try
Well,
to
that kinda-
encroach on
You
your
live too
thing.
far
That
away.
kind of segues
If-
into what would you do different, knowing what you know now?
Everything.
Everything? Oh wow!
Everything. I do everything different.
But you can't.
And you're not trying to course correct.
Course correcting now that the channel is already
It is what it is.
algorithmically classified, maybe sort of with some voodoo magic sprinkled on top. I don't know. Maybe. And one of the kind of hokey experiments I'm going to do, I'm going to try to redo this MRE comparison video. Except when I redo it, instead of doing the contents, I'm actually going to eat both of them or taste them both.
I was going to say,
Because for whatever
gonna
reason,
say, y'all did
for
that.
whatever reason,
yeah, I think we did that once.
I know, but for some reason, everybody wants you to eat shit. I don't know why.
You mean to come back? I'll eat.
And
it.
I told everybody, I said, it's nasty. Okay. It's just nasty. I know everybody loves Steve. I love Steve too on YouTube, but him saying that MRE pizza tastes like some pizza you go buy from the supermarket, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I saw you do one before on the pizza thing.
If you watch that video, that pizza MRE video I did,
Yeah.
you can see I got puffy cheeks. I got puffy cheeks toward the end.
Did you hamster
I
it?
did not swallow.
You hamstered it.
I did not
You-
swallow, my dude.
He hamstered it.
I cut the camera off. I cut
And then
the
spit
camera
it
off and
out.
I spit that shit out.
I tell you, one of your videos that I enjoyed the most was the one where we did the liquor tasting.
I bet you
Yeah,
did.
That was
good.
that was a fun one.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something. This goes to me and you talking about doing the videos. One of the things I really wanted to do that would have been so funny was when you brought over. Didn't you bring over the waterproof case?
The matches.
Or no. It was
What
that
did I
big
bring over?
yellow.
Oh,
I don't know. It was
no,
a big. It was that big yellow.
It was a medical kit for a boating medical
Yeah.
kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And when we were doing that video, it just flashed in my head that it would be so funny if we could take Brad's boat out and just insert a clip and say, hey, does this thing really float?
Oh
and
yeah.
like have me or Brad holding it on the boat and then just pushing the other one off
Yeah.
the boat with it, and see if it floated. And I
Yeah.
said, that would be so funny to just have, like a 5-second insert, into the video of that happening,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you know, making YouTube videos isn't rocket science, because everybody listening probably watches YouTube at some point. What videos are you entertained by? Well, that's hot flash. That's the kind of videos that you need to make. You need to make the kind of videos that are entertaining. And a lot of people don't get it. Because at the end of the day, when you're on the other side of the camera, well, you're going to be now subjected to the same kind of criticism that you would have if you were the viewer.
Yeah.
Which, if you're not recording it, you are the viewer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because two of the channels that I watch real religiously are that guy in Australia that's making stuff and a guy who rebuilds watches. And I know how weird that sounds.
It doesn't sound that weird after seeing the cooking of the mini food, where they make
yes, they totally don't get that.
Yeah, hamburgers the size of quarters or
real
50-cent pieces.
food,
It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
And millions of viewers. It's fucking wild. Just don't get it. All right, so what's okay, obviously you have kids. You've got a younger daughter and an older daughter. What do you feel is an age appropriate age to be to start or be on YouTube? Like, all the money and stuff aside, because that involves some more complexities that I don't want to talk about. But just, what do you think is an age appropriate age to be to start YouTube?
Any age. If you got kids that are charismatic, that can interact, and you can make content out of it, then that's content. So you don't need to look you don't need to look any farther than Ryan's World on YouTube. The way Ryan's World got started, Ryan, I think, was maybe 3 or 4 years old when they started their channel. I think I don't know if my wife was here, she could tell me better, because she actually researched this, because it just ticks me off. I'm a hater. I drink Haterade when we get on this topic. But his parents worked. They both worked, right? So the aunt babysat for them. And what she would do, she was recording videos with her cell phone, if I'm not mistaken. But she would go to like Dollar Tree, right, and buy a toy and give it to Ryan and film him playing with it. And she would upload it to YouTube. And she created the channel Ryan's World. And it's just this kid, Ryan, playing with these random cheap toys.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That's insane.
Okay.
39 million
producer,
subscribers.
About to say producer. Look up Ryan's World.
39 million.
It'll make you sick.
That's insane.
See,
No,
I'm a huge
Google the money.
Yeah, I'm a huge
Google the money.
I don't think it's appropriate for kids to be on YouTube. I don't think it's appropriate. I don't care how charismatic they are. That, to me, is a level of exposure that a parent should never subject their children to.
I mean, I agree with you, babe, but I think you've also watched too much murder porn on TV because of that one family. What was that thing? The one family. What's the name of the chick who got arrested?
Ruby Frankie.
Yeah.
And then there's another one on Netflix about like some teen squad thing, and the daughter, her whole entire life has been nothing but YouTube, and her parents, well, her mother in particular, has just completely monopolized this poor child's life to make money. She was even she was even so far as she would have older men watching the channel who were known sex offenders requesting a pair of the little girl's underwear.
Oh,
and the
God.
mother would mail him them.
Get out of here. Absolutely not.
Not even kidding you. Because they get into that mentality where they're making $50,000 a month and they only see their child now as an income. And it's like, to me, that's almost a frame of child labor. Like this girl never even went to school.
Okay, hang on. All right. Let's just pump the brakes for a second. All right.
I get very heated. I just protecting children is
listen. Okay. What you're talking about is so far of an extreme.
It is an extreme. You're absolutely right.
Okay, now, but hang on. Now I agree with you, so don't think I'm here to counter what you're saying.
Yeah.
But The problem is I operate from the optics. I love my children.
Oh, 100%.
I would never endanger my children. But would I knowingly want to subject my children to child predators? Well, if you think that them being on YouTube is doing that, well, that's fair because you have no control. But you also have no control when you go to a park and there's some pervert there watching all the kids.
Well, sure.
You have
Yeah.
no control over that either. And
Sure.
the remedy for that is not to, well, I just don't ever take my kids out in public.
No, absolutely. But
when you inject crazy parents that are exploiting their kid,
yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. So
Well,
yes,
well,
I
we've-
agree.
well,
that
we've been
the
talking
children
about-
shouldn't be there.
We've been talking about the mental thing or the psychology of a lot of this. I think psychology would come into play with that too, where the parents started off like you're saying, it's like, well, any age is fine. And then like where Tammy had turned to, which was they started off with good intentions and then turned into that path and forgetting that it's your child.
Yeah.
And your mind has now got twisted.
Psychologically twisted and is looking at
it's
it as a
as a-
money cow,
as a money thing.
as
So-
a source of income, and you get used to this sense of lifestyle. And of
And
course,
you're
that's
not
going to
gonna-
change your
yep.
psyche.
And you're not going to want to dip in your money, so you're going to keep doing it, and you're going to look at your kid as a
Well,
source of income. And I'm not saying that
Well,
everybody. I'm just saying that,
well, that
there
doesn't- but-
is that possibility.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't.
But that
It's a
doesn't
slippery
change.
slope.
But that doesn't change the premise. You still
Right.
have parents. You still have parents that ended up victimizing their kids. This is just
Agreed.
like the argument of saying, well, hey, this mom who put her kids in the car and drove off in a lake and killed all of them. Well, hey, she definitely is a bad mom, but hey, you go back 5 years, she was a good mom.
Yeah.
No,
I-
no.
She might have been.
There's no correlation between the two. I mean, you can say, well, you started out with good intentions and then things went left. Who took it left? It wasn't the kid. It was
No.
the parents.
Right.
Yeah. That's
So
what
the
I'm,
parents themselves are the adults are the ones that should have known better.
That's exactly what I'm
And,
saying.
Yeah.
hey,
It's a
hey,
it's
man,
a
so many people. Hey, look. At the end of the day, there's too many people out there that need Jesus in their life that need to
Amen
get
that.
themselves right, and that's not going to happen. But
It's just a
you know,
slippery slope when it comes to kids.
It's not. I think anybody has that potential to start going to have that happen to them, because unless you're tested, you don't know that you won't for sure. And I would. That's just an area I wouldn't go tie with. I wouldn't start fucking with that shit at all.
oh, I would, because there's no way I'd do it.
Well,
I mean, I can say that with 1,000%.
I bet you they.
I wouldn't do it.
I think people probably said that too, and then they were wrong.
Okay,
No,
going back to the
it goes-
original thought on all this, Ryan's world,
Oh, yeah.
since we went down
Yeah.
another rabbit hole,
Yeah, we did. What we got?
$30 million a year.
Good Lord. And how old's the boy now?
11, I think.
Jeez.
And they probably have no plans on stopping. And who knows what this
Why
child's
would
life
they?
is
They're
actually
making
like.
$30 million a year.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
The
That's-
photos I've seen of him looks pretty happy. He makes $30 million a year. Why wouldn't he be happy?
I don't think an
His
11-year-old
toys-
has a concept of how much money they're making. And it used to be where even if it was a child on the show and doing the content, they weren't even allowed to have a percentage of that revenue. It went straight to the parents and they never got a dime.
Again, we're still gonna get into the argument of the parents
Yeah.
being responsible, loving parents. That it's always gonna come back to that.
It just
Because like say my kids, I could make them YouTube stars, whatever, and they start making money. Well, I would set up a trust, and I would, maybe say, well, I'm their manager, so I'm going to take like a
10%.
like a fee or a salary or something. But I'm going to put that money into a trust for them.
Right.
Now would other parents not do that? Well, maybe,
Possibly.
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
not.
I think
But
now they've
I'm also not going to put my kids in a car and run them into a lake.
right. Well, they've also
You
I
know,
think in
so-
certain states YouTube has passed laws where a certain percentage of children's content goes to the child automatically.
Well, yeah, the way YouTube creates child content anyway is crazy.
Yeah,
Like they
it's-
got it to where you can't monetize it.
No, well, and you can't
like-
you can't even like control it or even make it so that it's not so exposed. Like, it just breaks my heart to see a lot of these kids so exposed, right? Because you have no idea who's watching it. And it just sets them up for, you know, as a parent, all you want to do is protect your children.
Yeah, but you can't protect them by locking them in the house.
Well, absolutely not. And I'm not saying lock them in the house and don't let them go to the park.
Nobody told me.
Limited exposure.
When you purposefully put your child out there on the internet, I feel like it's just, I don't like it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to be any part of it.
Like I said, slippery slope. Yeah. Nobody really wants to. I wouldn't want to try to venture down that path for just in case of a slip. Okay. So Brad, how do you feel YouTube compares? And I know it's kind of two totally different platforms. How do you think YouTube compares to the other social media like Instagram and TikTok?
It's no different. They're all the same. It's all one face of a multifaceted system, and it morphs to whatever is accepted socially as the new thing. You know, an example of that is TikTok. You know, TikTok really took short form content and really shoved it into, you know, the moon.
Yeah.
You know, where everybody was wanting to do short form content. Well, what did YouTube do? Did YouTube keep pushing, wanting to push, long form content? No. They created the Shorts program, and they incentivized current creators on YouTube to create just short form content because they wanted to directly compete with TikTok. And the problem with that is, you know, let's see, how can I word this? As the availability and the mere convenience of so much content is put at your hands by your phone, do you know how long, when I create a video, when someone clicks on my video, according to YouTube statistics, how long I have to make an impression for that viewer to watch my video?
10 seconds.
12 seconds.
Anybody else want to chime in? Okay, 10, 12.
Baby kangaroo?
Where, kangaroo, come on.
6 seconds.
Give me less than 3.
Good Lord.
You got to hook them that quickly, basically.
They click off that quick.
Jeez.
That's why, you know, like me, you know, when you see my videos, right, you know, I kind of, you know, old school. I introduce, you know, I say, hey, man, we're going to be looking at, you know, this box of blah, blah, blah. And you guys ready, man? Let's do this shit. And then I run my little intro.
Let's do it.
I've had every person on YouTube tell me to stop doing an intro. And my little like 10 or 8 second little thing that I run, you know, with my logo, they tell me, yeah, you just don't do that ever again. And they've actually told me to do my video and then chop it up to where like everything in the box, like take like one item that I really like and like do something goofy, like say, oh man, this is sweet. Cut that part, put it at the very beginning. So when you click on the video, the first thing you see, because from the thumbnail, right, you're going to know like this was a battle box, right?
Yeah.
So the thumbnail literally acts as the intro. So your thumbnail has already told the viewer, hey, this is what I'm expecting to see. I'm expecting to see a battle box. So the first thing when they click on the video and the video rolls, you see all the items and you see me holding up one item going, God, this is so cool. And then cut that into the video because you want to hook the person to watch it. Now, let me tell you something. There are people on YouTube that they've got the formula down pat. The problem with me is I'm 50 years old. I want to do things the way I want to do them. I don't want nobody telling me. I'm going to do my thing the way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the problem that I have with like you saying, just kind of course correct. I don't want to. I want to do things the way I want to do them. Maybe I'll get around to changing. Maybe slowly. It's going to be like trying to turn the Titanic from hitting the iceberg kind of thing.
You sound like a grumpy old man, Brad.
I know, right?
I'm very much a grumpy old man.
You're giving 50-year-olds a bad name, bro.
Shit. I do what I want.
All right. There we go. Jeez, now you sound like
There you
Tammy.
go. I can get on board with that.
All right, we're going to do a round. We hit the hour and a half mark. I think it's about time for a happy hour so we can just talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. Babe, you got any outgoing thoughts before happy hour?
No, I think this was fantastic. And thank you, Brad, for coming on and explaining to us, kind of the pitfalls and where you're at and how doing content on YouTube actually works. Because like I said, I don't watch YouTube. I don't, it's like the furthest thing from my mind.
What you got, baby kangaroo?
I watch way too much YouTube. I'm their target audience.
Do you watch more TV or YouTube? Like as an overall thing, like regardless of where, because I know we watch movies at work, but I mean, what's an overall thing? You think you watch more YouTube or TV?
I say it's probably close to 50-50.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
It kind of goes in trends, though.
Are you watching TV while watching YouTube?
Got split screen going on.
I'm not going to say that's
God.
never happened.
YouTube on the left, TV on the right.
Well,
Just
I
keep
had
them
3
both going.
monitors. So.
Oh, God. Here we go. Thought it was 4.
While playing games.
No, I don't have 4 anymore. I have 3.
Oh, the dog.
Well, unless you count the one for my rowing machine. I guess that's the 4th one.
Do you ever use it?
Sure, I do.
Yeah. Oh, so you got 4. There we go.
I don't really count that one.
Brad, you got any outgoing comments before we hit happy hour?
I consume probably 95% of my content through YouTube. I watch YouTube while I'm taking a shit, while I'm in the bathtub. And the only thing that I will say, if you've made it this far in this podcast, I want to say, because I do it on my videos, thank you for hanging with all of us this long. I really greatly do appreciate it. You can check me out on YouTube if you want to see how not to do it. Brad's Journey on YouTube. One thing I will say, I hope as bad as much negativity was in this podcast from me, I would say create a YouTube channel. Whether or not you think you can do it or you're on the fence, do it. And I'm gonna tell you why. As long as you've had lived life experience, you have something to offer. A lot of people don't yet see it or understand it, but just know this: there's a guy pressure washing rugs on YouTube that gets 1 million views a video, pressure washing rugs. So do not think that you don't ever have anything to offer. And I just told a friend of mine, Shane, who's on my channel, he lives up in the outskirts of New Jersey. And where he lives, he has a lot of very beautiful woods and river, streams and stuff. And I told him, I said, dude, I live on the southern Gulf Coast. I don't see that stuff. I would love to see that. So no matter how mundane you may think content that you would create will be, there's always an audience for it. And just to give you, some positivity here as we transition to whatever the hell we're about to do, in January of 2025, there were 77.9 billion visits to YouTube just in 1 month.
That's
well,
yeah.
actually
just unreal.
Probably in the next 4 to 6 months, I'll be creating one because the FAA says I have to document the building of an airplane. So,
Really?
Yeah, it seems like the easiest
people will watch that.
Easiest way to do it is
watch
to
that for sure.
put up a camera and film myself as I build an airplane.
Oh, wow.
Okay, not to reignite this. This is the last thing we'll say. We had a guy come to our shop because my brother wanted to put in some fake grass.
Yeah.
He wanted to have this area done with some fake grass. So, I didn't know because I don't have no experience with fake grass, but it's a big process. You have to do all the media, you have to prepare it and there's media that goes down to, keep the integrity of it and all this kind of crap.
Yep.
And the guy, it was a man and his wife. And I looked at them and I'm sitting there watching them doing it. And I said, y'all are dumb. And the lady was like, what are you talking about? I said, dude, I would have a GoPro set up right here filming y'all do this. And I would time lapse it and play it back at like 4 times speed. I'd put this on YouTube. I said, because people will watch this.
Did they?
I don't know. Probably not.
No, I was going to say.
But I
Brad,
would have.
It's funny you say that
if I was
because
them, I would have.
There's a company in England that does that. They convert, like they do yard work for people's like, because Europe, they had a little bit of yards that they don't have grass and whatnot in them. They bring in pavers and they'll completely redo, and they set up a GoPro, and they do the same thing. They time lapse it, and they got a dog that's always running around having fun. And I've watched a bunch of their videos because I find them really interesting.
I think my sister could do one of those with as many times she changes up her love sack couch, and she does the time lapse videos of before and after every time she redoes her love sack couch.
Yeah, probably could.
She makes it look easy. It's not easy.
All right. What we're gonna do? We're gonna hit our outro music. We're gonna have our happy hour like we always do. As always, we appreciate y'all listening to us. Hope you made it this far. Hope you enjoyed hearing about a mini YouTube star. I think he'll be bigger in the future because, I like his videos also. But we're going to hit this outro music, and we'll see you with the happy hour. All right, everybody. Welcome to the happy hour. If you've made it this far, Brad, how you think the episode went? Did you have fun?
Okay, so now I can tell the truth.
Yeah,
I can tell the truth now.
You can always tell the truth.
All right, this is what you do. You get on YouTube, you build an audience, you get them to love you, you earn their trust, and then you rob them motherfuckers blind.
There we go. That's why we should have started off this fucking episode is with that. Everybody been like, "Fuck yeah, I'll go with that honesty." Yeah, I appreciate you coming on and talking about the channel. That was, you talked about some, like we talked about before. You've talked about some stuff that I never would have even thought of. But I mean, you've been doing it for quite some time, so you have a better insight than I do.
Not really. I really don't. I mean, my insight to YouTube really begins and ends with me editing my content, hitting upload. Like I don't have any magical insight into the inner workings of YouTube or how any of that crap works. I mean, I have.
Oh yeah, but I mean, but you got the experience though. You've been doing it for a long time. My God, what'd you say? You started in 2007, so you've been doing it 18 years, give or take. With whatever it is, give or take.
From 07, I had a. Hang on. I don't know why I'm not like I'm trying to guess. Let me actually go look, and I'll tell you when I uploaded my first video to my channel.
I'll tell you the one thing that which is why I enjoy podcasting more than YouTube is I love to fish. Like fishing's my thing, but I'm the kind of person who's so rebellious and who's so stubborn headed that the moment I have to fish for a living, it's no longer fun and I don't enjoy it. So this takes limited amount of time to edit. As long as I pay attention and I know that I don't screw up and do things that I don't want to do on here. Then, no, not yet. No, not yet. But there's still time to fuck up. I mean, this works for me because it's limited time effort that I got to put in on the backside of things. But if I had to make a YouTube video that would have been an hour and 43 minutes, I probably would have tore it apart and I'd have spent days on the computer fucking with it. And I don't want to do any of that.
Well, here's the thing about that. You say that until you do it. Now, if you do it, and that's how things kind of unfolded, then fine. But just kind of saying that in a vacuum of like, well, it could be like this. Yeah, it could be. But you know what it also could be? It could also be you filming integrates into the enjoyment of whatever you're doing. And that's how it is for a lot of people.
I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have fun filming a video, but to me, the balance wouldn't be there. I wouldn't get enough enjoyment out of doing a video that would have take to edit it and do thumbnails like you're talking about and shit like that. Like that would just because my first couple episodes when I finally got into editing it and taking out like lawn pauses and then like baby kangaroo coughing, then I was like, okay, this is a freaking job, and it become unfun.
Well, that's where you becoming just anal.
Well, yeah. I mean, like if I had money and I could do it, and then I could just be like, here, and then just give it to somebody else and let them do it, wouldn't have a problem with it. But I don't have enough money. You know, I can't afford to pay anybody. And I'm sure there's people out there who are like, well, I'll do it for you for $20 a thing or whatever it was. And it takes them like 30 minutes. So, you know, I mean,
well,
maybe that's something you could look into. Why don't you find somebody to see what they charge? Have you ever looked into that?
Because I don't make money now, and I'm not going to pay somebody to do it. You know, I'm not going to do that. But that's what I'm at. That's what I'm saying though. Like, if you looked into it, what if they do all that stuff that you learned and people are telling you to do to make it grow? If you paid them, that would wind up bringing you dividends. Wouldn't that be worth it? No.
I'm
a one man. I'm a one man show over here, man.
All right.
I ain't got time for all that.
You say one man show. I see that one guy that they always show on like movies from time to time where he's playing the drums and he's got cymbals on his feet and he's blowing a harmonica. That's you, huh?
That's right. I'm doing everything.
All right.
Okay. The first video that I uploaded to my channel was November 5th, 2018.
Oh,
so that was the first video that I uploaded to my channel.
And that's on Brad's journey.
Actually, the first couple, yeah, right. And actually, those first couple videos were just car shows. They were just car shows that I went to because I had no idea what I wanted to do other than I just wanted to make content. But to what you're saying about, you know, you would basically what your problem is with creating long form, you know, not long form content, but video content is that you would be too perfectionist with it. You would obsess over editing and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I had this conversation yesterday too with my audience, and I said, you know, I was filming the intro for whatever the last box I opened. I can't remember what. It don't matter. Barrel and Blade. I was sitting there, and you ever had a burp just creep up on you? You know. And I'm sitting here, and I record probably like 2 or 3 intros, you know.
Yeah.
And then generally, you know, as I do intros, the last one is always the best of the 3, you know. I'm recording this intro, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, yeah, you know, today we got another, you know, subscription box comes to us from Barrel and Blade. We're gonna get into it. And I'm sitting here like, where did that come from? And I just start laughing, you know. And what's funny about that, I told everybody, you know, that was in my live stream, I told them about it. And they're like, man, you should have left that in there, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, and the rabbit hole that we went down in that talk was from the audience standpoint, from the viewer. It makes it real. Real equals relatable. Now, here's the thing about you talking about fishing, right? You said that you fishing, right?
Yeah.
You think it's going to be a chore and all this, that, and the other. Okay, fine. I'll concede that fact because, you know, hey, you are recording. You do have to take equipment and set it up. So it is a chore. But let's say you get to your fishing spot. You record yourself, you know, hooking your boat up. And then you have to go to the slip. You have to get out of your truck. You have to go set the camera up to record you back in your boat, you know, into the water. Then you have to get out, move the camera, you know, and you get all that, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man, this is such a pain. This is such a pain in the ass. But then you get to your fishing spot. You have your camera set up on your boat, and you're just sitting there fishing, and you catch this amazing fish. But you also capture your reaction. Well, what you've just done, not only did you just create a good piece of content, but now you've also recorded a memory.
And you've recorded something that probably anyone who loves fishing can relate to.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Because, and to me, what YouTube has really taught me is just the fact of what it is. You're recording memories. Like me, I love going back. Like now that I just did this, you know, I'm looking at this car show video. I did that in 2018. I can go back and rewatch this, and I remember what went on in that car show. You know, when I have tons and tons of footage, and that's what technically doing YouTube has really taught me to do. Like I record every Christmas. I've got Christmases for like 7 years where I've took my camera, set it up, hit record, and I've recorded from the moment me and Carrie woke up to the kids opening all their presents and hanging out. And I have all that. I can go back when Leah was little.
Yeah.
And I can watch that.
But I don't know if that's any different from anyone else. They record it, but they just don't post it online for everyone to watch. I mean, there's billions of people record that stuff all the time, and they don't choose to put it on the internet.
Somebody's using YouTube as a storage thing for all of their. It's like that's all they
don't have enough.
Don't even give a shit. Just upload it. Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you this then. Okay, since that's your view on that. How many recordings of stuff that y'all have done that you'd like to have the memory of did you actually record?
None.
How many moments?
A lot, because
how many moments that slipped away?
We don't think about recording every single moment because we do remember 99% of. We stay in the moment. We hardly ever think about, oh, this is something we should record so we can watch it later. Like we remember it because we're in the moment, and then it solidifies in our long-term memory, and it's there. We're not thinking about anything else to say, oh, well, let me record this so I can look back on it later. I can look back on it later in my own head.
No, I can't do that.
You're getting too old.
Yeah, I can't do that. I mean, I have to like use my phone to remember when I took a shit.
Were they doing it?
Track that?
He's got an Excel sheet for it. Or did they do an MRI on your head to find out if you have Alzheimer's?
I don't have that. No, I mean, come on now.
He's got Alzheimer's.
Did you, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, I know it's super personal and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but was there a reason why they needed to do an MRI on your head? Was it like headaches?
No, it's due to the
I mean, you
one
don't have
day
to
I
answer.
woke up. No, I mean I've talked about it on my channel.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I mean we've had full blown discussions. As a matter of fact, Friday we all come to the consensus that we believed that if all of us in chat could tear the functioning parts of our bodies apart, we could maybe build one healthy human being. But one day...
Getting
one
old
day,
sucks, doesn't it? But it beats the alternative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But one day last month, I woke up and I was disoriented, and I didn't think nothing about it. I thought maybe blood pressure,
like
blood
disoriented
sugar,
how?
whatever.
Like you woke up and you were like, I don't know where I'm at?
Just just equilibrium wise.
Oh, okay. I get you.
Discombobulated that way.
Yeah.
Because
And
Brad
like I
wakes
said, I
up that
thought
way
maybe
all the time after he's been drinking on a heavy night.
No, I wake up just fine.
Yeah, that's true.
I take 2 shots,
so-
I balance right out.
No,
Hair of the dog.
Only
Shampoo
reason
the
why I
dog,
asked
baby.
that is because I've woken up and I've slept so hard and so good. Like I wake up and I'm like, where am I? Oh, I'm in my own bed. That was the
I
best
wish
sleep I've
I'd had
ever
nights like
had.
that.
Yeah, I haven't had that. I haven't had that in 20
Yeah, I
years.
haven't. I don't ever remember having that.
Oh, I've had that a lot.
But so
Yeah, I bet
Two
you-
Benadryl and a Zofran hook you right up.
Of course you have that, babe, because
Well, I'm
you
allergic
fucking
to
sleep till
Benadryl,
11
so-
o'clock.
Not every day.
Then
You're
two
right.
Zofran.
Sometimes it's one.
Hmm.
I don't even know what those drugs are. You said two Benadryl and a what?
Zofran, it's
What is Zofran?
anti-nausea medication, but it makes you super sleepy.
Super sleepy.
It's
Oh,
like it's
is it
Fenugreek.
over the
hang on.
counter?
I can circle back.
Phenergan.
I can circle back
Oh.
around to a drug that really helps you sleep.
Oh,
So I woke up. I was discombobulated. Thought it was blood pressure, blood sugar, something. So I went ahead, got cleaned up, got dressed, got to work, and it never went away. So I called the ENT, and
Like you had some vertigo,
amazingly-
like you were dizzy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, not. I wasn't dizzy. I
It
was
just-
just
You just felt.
disoriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just woozy.
Yeah.
Woozy.
Yeah.
And so I called the ENT, and hey man, stars, planets, moons aligning. They got me in the next morning. I couldn't believe it. So I went in there and they did an X-ray of my sinuses there, and she tried to reset the crystals in my ear, which didn't help. But she gave me meclizine.
Hang on,
Okay.
you said reset the crystals in your
Was
ear?
this a real doctor or
Yeah.
a witch?
Okay,
A witch doctor?
I knew you were going to say that, and I'm surprised you don't know about it. Yes, there are crystals in your ear, and they go directly towards things like vertigo.
Well, sure, but I don't
It's
know if
got a
I've ever
shock-
heard
There's a way
them.
that you move your head around to reset them.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's that
Okay.
thing I tried to do to
And
you
you
before
can-
I told you. Is like you turn,
Yeah, you
turn your head. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how to do it though.
Okay.
I
So
coulda-
no,
I
there's
coulda-
no chakra
It's
involved.
got a chakra.
There's no witch doctor.
They're
know-
just
none of
rubbing.
that.
They're rubbing rocks in your ears.
Yeah, right. I don't know why he just didn't go to
Well,
YouTube
I don't know. I mean-
and see what the video was. And
I
then
mean-
have, oh, that's how you do that. Hey, Carrie, come do my head like this. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there was at one point they brought a monkey in the room, and I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a
Might- it
witch
might have been
doctor.
some
It was
voodoo
a-
shit. I don't
It
know.
was a
Was
witch.
it?
There's a fucking
Yeah.
witch doctor. There we go.
But they so that didn't work, and let's see, they gave me the meclizine, and she scheduled me later that week. It was maybe 3 or 4 days out. She said, okay, we're gonna do, and I told her. Now, to be fair, I told her, I said, look, my dad had Meniere's real bad, and I know Meniere's is congenital, so I said I probably have it, and I told her, about my deal with not being able to ride rides and
Yeah.
my how I get messed up and everything. And she said, okay, well, we'll schedule these tests, and I'm gonna tell you something. These tests they did to me, they told me that I was gonna have to be driven home.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm like, oh, you never want to hear that.
No.
No. Like, yeah, you need to be driven home, and that's like, oh shit, this is not going to be good for me. So the test, they have this bar they put in front of you, and it's got this little red dot that you trace with your eyes, and it goes left, right, up and down, all this kind of crap. And I'm like, okay, well this ain't shit, so what the hell I got to have somebody drive for? This is stupid. So they laid my head down, and now mind you, they had me hooked up to like 10 electrodes.
Yeah.
Go into a computer, and the chick's monitoring whatever the hell they're monitoring. And so they did some more of these tests with me doing eye tracking and stuff, and then she said, okay, now we're coming to the last part of the last test, and she said, I'm going to put air in your ears. I said, okay, cool, whatever. And dude, she shot cold air. They do them one ear at a time, and she tells you to close your eyes. And
So
I
your
close
eyes
my
don't
eyes,
pop
and
out.
I'm laying flat. I don't know what the hell is about to happen. So I'm laying flat, okay, and after about 3 seconds of her spraying cold air in my ear, and it has to do with these voodoo crystals.
Chakras.
The damn room started spinning. And the woman told me, she said, yeah, you're dizzy now. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. And so then she stopped, and she said, okay, it'll pass, it'll as your ear canal returns back to ambient temperature, it'll ease up. So then she told me to open my eyes, and I concentrated on this thing on the wall, and it helped it stop. Okay.
When you say cold
Then she did the
air,
other
how
side.
cold are we talking? Like ice cold
Just,
air?
I don't know. It was cold. It was just cold enough to provoke
notice.
this dizziness.
Yeah.
Okay, so get this. Now that ain't the trippy part. This is the trippy part. So she does my left ear with the cold. Okay, fine. Exact same thing happened. Okay, then she gave me a break. She went back, and then she did hot air. Hot air makes you get dizzy the other way.
So the
Like
world's
cold air,
spinning
like-
clockwise, and then the hot air makes you spin counterclockwise.
Like cold air, makes you clockwise. Hot
He's
air
a-
makes you counterclockwise.
He's a hurricane and a
So,
typhoon all in one thing, just
Bro.
going fucking nuts.
Bro.
Ah.
I didn't like that shit at all. So
Did I just get
she
flushed
goes
down the
up to my
toilet in
left ear.
Australia?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the shit spins a different way. So she does it on my other ear, and for whatever reason, my left ear, she does it, and it was way worse. And the chick told me, like, she's like, oh, yeah, you're getting really dizzy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on the verge of vomiting. Yeah, so can we stop? And she's like, yeah, we're stopping. And, hey, I had my hands like lifted up off my chest, just in the like instantly, both my hands just started dripping sweat.
Really?
And I said, hey, I don't feel good. And she looked over at me and she saw my hands and she said, oh, wait. And she went and got a cold compress and put it on my neck and gave me one to hold in my hands. And that, helped. And
You
I
were
was
about
like,
to pass
dude, I
out.
said,
Yeah.
and I told her, I said, you just don't know. I said, whatever the hell we just brushed up against, we was getting there. So
We almost
so
succeeded
then,
in what you was trying to do to me.
yeah, whatever. So through all that horseshit, they come back. The doctor called me and said, yeah, I feel confident to say, yes, you do have Meniere's. And I said, okay, cool. And he said, but I want to go ahead and do the MRI.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to do the MRI, with and without contrast.
Mhm.
So I had to do it twice.
And just so you know, the contrast for MRI is extremely harmless. It really only affects about 0.02% of the population in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and that's because they have kidney problems.
You don't know who you're talking to.
I do.
Okay. Now what I just heard you say was much horseshit. You just told me it's harmless, but it only affects this amount of the population. Well, then it ain't harmless.
Well,
It's harmless to everybody else.
If the shit messed me up, it ain't harmless.
Compared to the dye they use in CT, it's less harmful than the dye they use in CT.
It's harmless. It's harmless unless
it's
harmless unless it fucks you up. So we don't know unless we try. So it looks like you made it through it.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the guinea pig. Well, I don't know, man. One of my nuts could fall off.
It's not. Literally 2 hours after your MRI, it was out of your system.
Yeah, an arm can grow out your ass if you take the fucking COVID vaccine too. But I mean, I hadn't seen anybody with a hand out their ass yet waving at people.
that you know of.
Not that anyone's going to be like, check this out.
Oh, I would. If I had an arm growing out my ass, I'd be waving at everybody. Hey, bitch! Like, what the fuck is that? Like that, I would put on YouTube. I'd be like, all right, y'all.
Well, let me tell you something. Hey, man,
took the COVID shot. Here's an arm.
Hey, that COVID vaccine. It's good. There's going to be a lot of crap happening with that in the next year.
So anyway, did your MRI come back okay? Bottom line.
I don't know. I got the results and I was looking over and it's a bunch of damn big words that a southern redneck ain't got no business trying to pronounce.
I can interpret that for you.
Dude, I looked for the word normal and abnormal. That's all I did. I scanned through there and I saw a bunch of normals, and then I saw the word tumor because they were looking. I knew for a fact they were looking for tumors.
Yeah. That's what the contrast
and there were no
for.
tumors.
Okay, yeah.
And there were no tumors. So.
And that's what they use the contrast for. So they take the pictures before contrast, and then they inject the dye. They inject the contrast, and the contrast, if you had a tumor, it would light up the tumor like Christmas tree.
Bro, I woke up one time.
And apparently they found out I had a brain too, so that was good.
Well, there you go. Now there's no wonder about that anymore. There's no question.
Bro, I woke up one time, I think it was last year or this year, and my face was all fucked up. My jaw just swelled up, and it looked like I was a chipmunk. And with a baseball in my face, it was swelled up so bad.
And it was hard and hot.
Yeah, and I went to the damn emergency room and I got an MRI.
No, you got a CT.
Or a CT. And they used contrast. And the lady was like, she's like, all right, when I do this, it's going to feel like you're peeing yourself, but you're not. And I was like, no, it's whatever. It's like, you're out of your mind, lady. And like, I was like, I might do it. I was joking. I was like, I might do it just to fucking prove you wrong. I was like, I'm going to piss my pants and I don't give a shit. And then that fucking lady shot that contrast in me, and it felt just like I was peeing myself so bad. I grabbed my dick. I was like, oh, God. And I was just squeezing, like, don't pee yourself. I was a joke. What the fuck am I doing? I was like, please don't piss my pants for real. Like, the chick and it was bad as the chick giving you the stuff is just sitting there looking at you, making ass face, just shaking. I told you.
No, because yours would have been power injected with a CT. His would have been hand, like with Brad's would have been a
good brand
hand injected.
Oh yeah,
injected contrast.
I think the word she wants is a syringe.
Whatever. Shut up, baby kangaroo.
I don't know. They had that cage over my head, so I didn't know what they was doing anyway. I couldn't see nothing.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, they would have hand injected you for your contrast, but for his, it's power injected. It goes in. They start the IV
before the scan even starts. And then when they get to the contrast part, they just push a button and it goes whoosh.
Bro, you're 50 now. Did you have a colonoscopy yet?
Dude, I had a colonoscopy 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
It's
they've revised that.
50
They want us to get them
50 no more.
earlier.
It's
Yeah,
40.
they start
45.
at 45.
It's 45.
It's 45.
I thought it was 40.
Yeah.
I had my
It's 40. It's
Oh,
45.
it was 50, and now they're 45.
yeah, it's now 45. I had
Yeah.
my first one at 43. And even my gastro, same guy you go to, he was like, I commend you for coming in and getting, and
Yeah.
it was because of your wife. Brad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the reason why I went. Because
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, I went and got mine because of Raw.
yeah.
That was,
Hey
that
man,
was the only reason I
them
did.
cancer rates are
They're
ridiculous. They're not
ridiculous.
just they're not just like going up. It's exponential how fast
And
those cancer rates
younger.
are going up.
Younger.
Yeah.
They're starting in even younger people. So it's like
Yeah.
as much as you think it's uncomfortable and it's a horrible experience, it really isn't in comparison to the peace of mind that you get if you're
Well,
If
here's
you're
the
The,
thing.
good.
the
I
prep's
don't
painful.
I don't get that.
But I
man.
don't
I
mind
don't
it.
get that. man. How was it an unpleasant experience?
well, the prep.
I mean, I took the colon prep and I just crapped myself, for like 3 or 4 hours, and they put me to sleep. I don't feel nothing, and
No.
they evacuate my colon, so I don't even have to fart when I'm done.
Exactly.
I wake up, I'm
Well,
fully rested.
Exactly.
You know?
That's what I was saying too. That's why whenever people are like, "Oh, it's just a horrible experience," I'm like, "It really isn't that horrible. It's really not
Yeah.
that bad." Like
Yeah.
I think
I
I
think- I
lost
think
10
it's-
pounds from the prep.
I don't, that whole you were
I
talking
think
about
it's,
you were
I
talking
think
about
it's the
anxiety.
fact that people don't want people playing with their butt. That's what I.
Well,
Bro, you
yeah.
were talking about fucking anxiety earlier. Like anytime they put me out, my anxiety shoots through the roof.
Yeah,
like my shoulder, like the colonoscopy that I had, my shoulder surgery that I had recently. I'm just in there, just fucking panicking. My heart. They're like, "Why is your blood pressure so?" And I'm like on the light meds for blood pressure. It's the smallest dose I can take, and it's usually normal. But I take my blood pressure meds, go in there, and my shit is through the roof. My heart rate is like 130.
That's a
150.
trust issue, just so you know.
I don't give a fuck what it is. My anxiety. No, I don't trust somebody fucking knocking my ass out. That's the reason when I had shoulder surgery, I said, not this shoulder. When I had knee surgery, I wrote on my right leg, not this knee. And they thought I was fucking joking. I was like, no. I was like, you're knocking me out and I'm supposed to trust you? Get the fuck out of here. I don't trust you standing right here, let alone if you knock me out and you can do whatever the fuck you want
Dude,
to.
when they did your shoulder and your knee, they didn't come in and the doc didn't sign the knee.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I still had it written on
the
both,
other.
not
Yeah.
this one before they even got there.
And with your shoulder surgery, it was so funny because they had to dope him up with Versed like triple the amount because
Yeah.
like the first dose they were like,
It's all
okay,
the drugs you do.
I don't even do any drugs.
he metabolizes it because I think it's a mental thing, right? Like he's already anxious and he's already like, what the fuck? And then they give him the medicine and he's like, I'm not succumbing to this. I'm not doing it. And
No,
then
the anesthesiologist said, we don't feel like dealing with this guy. Let's give him
They
let's
just
give him a
laughed at
nurse's
him.
dose.
They give, dude, it was 3 of them. They walked back in and they were like, dude, you're sweating. It's cold in here. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking nervous and I don't like this shit. And they're like, well, we'll give you something to relax me. And they did. And they did it again. And the second time they came back in, it's like, Mr. You okay? God damn it.
He's got to write down the time so he knows to edit it.
That's 2. They're like, Mr. Brad,
What happened?
I don't use last names.
Oh, I got you.
And I said Baby Kangaroo's
Okay,
last
well, hey.
name. I just said mine. But yeah, they give me the second dose, and they came back in and they're like, Mr. Brad, you're not out. And I was like, nope, sure ain't. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you give me, but nothing fucking works. And they give me a third one, and I still was wide awake, wired. And they were like, Jesus Christ, dude, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't trust you people. So yeah, maybe it is a trust issue.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't fucking trust them.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
none of
it's
that
a
shit.
trust issue.
None of that shit works on me. And even they're like, count back from 100. I made it to 90. Like I was like, 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95. And they were just like, is this guy going to go to bed ever? And I was like, nope.
that's
Sure ain't.
Asuka and Gizmo at Brad's.
Yeah.
Who's got a dog?
Carrie just came home. Okay, well, hey, look, I know we're all grumpy and we have bad experiences with doctors, and this is what happens when you get old. You have to go to doctors all the time. But what do you guys think about the Floyd Mayweather bankruptcy broke crap? Y'all heard anything about that?
No. Floyd Mayweather ain't went broke. You mean junior or senior?
There's tons of people on the internet right now that are bringing receipts that kind of say otherwise. Like they're seizing a lot of his property and all kinds of stuff.
Floyd Mayweather shrugs off bankruptcy rumors as his $100 million watch collection.
Yeah, we need to talk to the one boxer that's got a pending lawsuit right now on him because Floyd hasn't paid him $20 million. And I hate to say this because I hate what Jake Paul or whatever the guy's name is that fought him. That dude said he ain't even got paid.
Oh, get out of it. Is it him is it him or the production company?
The production company is Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, is it his? Does he own?
Yes.
I feel like that's a conflict of interest if you're going to fight and your own production company is the one that's paying out the reward.
Well, it's Floyd Mayweather. That's when he started whatever the crap name of his promotion is. When he stiffed HBO on a contract, he started his own promotion and production company. So yeah, he does all that himself. And it's funny because now there's all kinds of stuff coming out where for a lot of the fights that he does, that Mayweather did, because he's the promoter, he goes in and he buys all of the floor seats to the event. And then he resells them at quadruple the price.
Hey, here you go. This is going to be on your thing earlier when we were talking about fucking stocks and everything. Former 5-division champ Floyd Mayweather is in the middle of a whirlwind of bankruptcy rumors. However, he now seemingly silenced those rumors by flaunting his $100 million watch collection. So,
oh yeah,
he's got some tangible shit that he can fucking put up for, but we can't tax him on it.
Yeah, but if he's $1 billion in debt,
hang on.
What's $100 million?
Hang on. If all that stuff is paid for, because if you do a little bit of research, he's also getting sued by a jeweler in Miami that he hasn't paid.
Floyd suing somebody? No. Oh, the other guy's suing.
No.
The other guy.
A jeweler in Miami is suing him because he hasn't paid him.
Well, I don't know. I kind of hope that's not true because I hated Floyd Mayweather as a fighter until I actually watched his shit because he talked. He's really well. He's like Conor McGregor.
He always ducked the best boxers out there that wanted to challenge him too.
Thank you.
He fought everybody.
Thank you.
No, he didn't.
Who did he dodge?
The Filipino guy, he dodged him for like 5 years until he finally got out of his prime.
Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, there you go.
He fought him. He put his
finally.
But
for like 5 years, he ducked him.
Yeah, but Alvarez is better now than he was then. So I don't know why you talking about he ducked him when he was in his fucking prime. Floyd fucking stuck his ass in the goddamn ring corner. He hit him and then ducked out of the way and he fucking hit his head on the goddamn corner post.
He has a reputation for ducking good fighters.
I think his record says otherwise, but I mean, to each their own. I
don't like strictly defensive fighters, and Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, I'm not saying that he's not boring because he's boring to watch because he is, and he hasn't really knocked anybody out in 20 years.
Well, he's definitely.
But
Floyd Mayweather is definitely not one of the greatest boxers ever. To me, one of the greatest boxers to ever fight in the ring with Roy Jones Jr. and just because Roy Jones has done things in the ring that prior to him and after him have never been done by a boxer ever, and probably never will be.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying Roy's not good, but
he just fought. Roy's problem was he fought past his prime.
Oh, yeah.
If he would have stopped when he was on top, nobody would even argue with you when you say who's the best boxer to ever live. It would be Roy Jones Jr.
Oh, yeah.
But he took it way out of his prime, and that's when he suffered those defeats. Well, except for the one where he fought the guy that he hit, when his knee touched the canvas, and then he got a rematch with him, and he knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, fucking Roy fought Mike Tyson, and that was, oh God, that was such a terrible fight. That was just. Well, I think he just wanted that for notoriety to be able to say, I fought Mike Tyson. Win or lose, I think they wanted it for the money.
I think.
Oh, I
all
mean,
the-
I'm
all
not
the-
saying I'm not saying
whenever I
that.
see
The money,
it's
that's a
strictly for
plus.
money.
Yeah, that's a plus. But I mean, also to be able to say I fucking fought Mike Tyson, regardless of what it is, and survived. But I mean, Mike was
I don't think
43 and
I don't
Roy
think-
was 45. This is ridiculous.
I don't think that was something even remotely in either one of those guys' mind.
Would
I
you
think it was all the payday.
would you fight either one of them for $10 million?
Would I?
Would you?
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
you lost, you got 10
Oh,
million?
Brad's gonna lose.
I know, but I'm
That's
saying
without saying.
you get 10 million if you lost.
If they told me, hey, you're going to fight Mike Tyson for $10 million, guaranteed $10 million, when, lose, right? I would go, into the ring, suited up, I would put on a little muscle, I'd inject some steroids, get myself pumped up a little bit, I get real vascular looking, and as soon as they pulled me and Mike in the middle of the ring,
Oh,
to
you
do the
can't.
fight,
You can't flop.
I would immediately DDT him. and two things would happen. I would either immediately get disqualified and Mike would win anyway, or they would just say, okay, well, you had your fun, but you're going to the corner and we're going to ring the bell, at which point I would run full steam and just run into him and then flop like a fish on the mat.
No, all right, no flopping allowed. Would you fight a young Mike Tyson for $10 million? No flopping allowed. If you flop, if you flop it all, flop it all, we chop your legs off, kind of thing. Would you fight a young Mike Tyson?
Now wait a minute. Wait, I got a strategy. Young Mike Tyson in his prime.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's a chance I could outrun him.
I'm pretty sure
So-
as much as he's declined because of the whole Oscars thing, Will Smith's made the best song when it came to Mike. I think I could beat Mike Tyson. There was a song about it, bro.
Did you see Mike Tyson in his training camp for that Logan Paul fight? Did you see him in his training camp?
Yeah, he looked great.
He didn't look good at
That was
fight.
not the Mike.
No, that's
how
not the
you
one
know
that.
that fight was a publicity stunt.
Oh, it's not the
Mike-
one that showed up.
No, Mike could still mess you up right now.
Oh yeah,
without a
I'm
doubt.
not fucking with Mike. Screw that shit. I mean, I don't know.
Alan did. Alan got knocked the fuck out.
that was out of shape, Mike. Mike's in better shape now. I don't know. I mean, I might fuck with Mike. I'd have to grab his ass if I ain't throwing hands with the man. It's gonna have to be some fucking. I'm gonna try to wrestle his ass to the ground like oh man, what's that dude that looks like Kelly who was 40 years old? He fought a fucking boxer and whooped his ass.
Kovac?
No, Couture, Randy Couture, isn't that his name?
Oh.
yeah, the MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit the button so I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MMA fighter,
Is
Randy
that his
Couture.
name? Randy Couture?
Yeah.
Yeah. He fought a boxer, and I forgot the boxer's name, but he come in there, and the boxer was like, I'm going to whoop Randy's ass and all this shit. And it wound up being a boring fight only because I wanted to see more stand-up. But now, and that was when I first got into MMA. Now that I know more about MMA, I understand it. But the boxer was like, I'm going to knock this bitch out. And Randy took him down and then just pounded
Oh, wait, he was in
his-
an octagon? He didn't have Randy go into the boxing ring?
Yeah, this was like
You're
years.
an idiot for thinking that you could take Randy Couture in
Oh,
the octagon.
no, yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'd have to do to Mike. Like, I'm not going to be like, all right,
Look,
Mike,
that's
come
why
on, let's
Floyd
box, bro.
Mayweather said, "Oh yeah, if
Conor.
Conor McGregor will come into the boxing ring, I'll go into the MMA octagon," and he
ain't-
never did it.
Oh, hell
because
no.
he's a chicken shit motherfucker.
I don't think Conor
McGregor would tear him apart in the octagon.
Conor McGregor does not have a ground game.
His ground game's a whole shitload better than Floyd Mayweather's.
Yeah.
It might be, but Conor's fucking ego is what would
And you
be
don't think
his
Floyd
downfall.
Mayweather's is?
No, but Floyd's got a fucking ego, but I mean, Conor McGregor's ego would be his downfall because Conor would be like, "Great, I'm glad I got him in the octagon. I'm gonna stand up and beat this bitch's ass," and then he's still
I
not
don't
gonna
think
do
so.
it.
I think he'd take him to the
No.
ground and beat the shit out of him.
No, his ground game is garbage.
All right. Look here. Hold up. Okay,
Ground
look.
game's garbage.
I'm gonna tell you real quick how I feel about all this. All right.
Here
I'm
we
not
go.
fighting. I ain't fighting nobody. You know why? Because I'm a celebrity. You understand? I'm a damn pillar of the community.
Wait a minute. When I said you was a YouTube star earlier, you was like, "Oh, I'm not a star," and now you're saying you're a celebrity. So which one is it, bro? You gotta. What are we going with? What are we going with?
I can't help.
gotta get it.
I can't help it that I have
can't be both.
the admiration of the masses. I can't help that.
I got the.
That's what they have bestowed onto me.
I
But
got the
tell you what,
admiration
what
of
I'm trying to
tens
put
of
they-
people.
That's right, tens of people. That's all I need. And if I have to pull my bear spray out and bear spray somebody and then taser them, that's what's gonna happen. But I ain't letting nobody put their grubby hands on me. You out your mind.
That actually makes me want to send somebody to your house to fuck with you, just so I can. That's what I'm gonna video. I'm gonna send somebody to your house. I'm gonna sit at the house across the street. I'm gonna video that shit when they show up and fuck with you, and you bear spray them, and then taser them.
I got the bear spray. Well, you come to my house. You lucky if you get that. You gonna get some 300 blackout.
You got to get in the house before you can shoot them, bro.
No, I don't either.
They got to be in the house, or else there's.
I don't either.
It's questionable. They're not in the house.
No, not what it is. It's called you kicked your door and you dragged the body into the threshold.
300 blackout. Why are you going to 300 blackout somebody? You're going to shoot through them.
Because pimping, I got bad ears, man. I got a silencer on it with subsonic ammunition. I got to shoot that stuff in the house, man. I ain't blowing my eardrums out.
You're going to shoot
dirty
through
criminal.
them. You're going to shoot through them. It's going to hit the neighbors. Jesus
No,
Christ.
man. A subcon ain't gonna go through nobody in the chest.
All right.
Subcon 300 blackout ain't gonna puncture through somebody's chest, dude. I'm a crack shot, man. I'm gonna hit you in the breastplate, yo.
Oh, crack shot. We need to go to the range then. I hadn't seen you
No,
shoot.
man, ain't none. Hey, look here, man. Ain't nothing for you at the range, man, but hurt feelings. All right, I'm being nice to you.
We need to go to the range. Your range has got that 1,000-yard shot, right? Or something
Yeah,
close
we
to
got
it?
1,000. We got 1,000 meters over there. Yeah.
1,000 meters?
Well,
That's a
it's
little more
1,000
than
yards,
1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad, do you have a rifle that reaches out that far?
Do I? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got some stuff.
I got several rifles that reach out that far.
I only have one, and the Proby has. You have a 308, don't you, Proby?
That too.
Yeah, so you have.
Yeah,
Well-
I was about to say, how do you not have a rifle that'll go 1,000 yards? All you gotta have is a 308.
No, I got that in the 300 Win Mag.
Well, the damn 300 Win Mag would go 1,000. What are you talking about?
Shit,
Yeah.
a 300 Win Mag will go 2,200, 2,400, something like that.
I even watched.
Well, I can break out. I break out my 338 Lapua.
Oh, Jesus
That'll
Christ.
definitely go over 1,000 yards by
Yeah.
a damn sight.
Yeah, that'll reach out there and touch someone. That's
Yeah, Brad will be standing out there and just say, "Here, hold my beer."
That's 338 that's just inappropriate. That's inappropriate touching. We don't do
How
that
about
shit
a
around
460 Shy Tac? You want one of those? You can shoot something that's 3 miles
I
away.
hate that.
here.
I'll
I
stick.
can't, dude. There's only a handful of people in the world that can make them kind of shots, though, and none of us hearing this are one of them.
Yeah, I watched. Speaking of YouTube, I watched. Is it the King of the 2 Mile? Is that what the name of the competition's called out in Arizona or
yeah.
whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at that and I'm like, those people are complete freaks.
Yeah,
It's
them
20
guys that can make them shots. They're incredible. I mean, and you got to think about the targets. You know, when they really go out past a mile, the size of the targets. That to me is what blows my mind. It's not that you're making a shot that long; it's that you're making precision shots that long. And even when they miss, they're not missing by a lot. That to me is what's impressive.
Oh wow, yeah, King of the 2 Mile.
I don't have a rifle that'll really go out beyond 1,000 yards because I can't shoot beyond 1,000 yards. So what's the point in having a rifle for it?
Well,
To me, nothing. To me, my kind of ethos on firearms in general is, for me, nothing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
yeah, sorry, that was I'd clicked one of the videos of the King of the 2 Mile and I was looking at it.
To me, nothing beyond what I don't know. I'd say 250 yards is realistically a threat. So I don't see the. I mean, how many people?
Yeah, that's fair. It's hard to articulate a
How
threat
many?
at 250 yards.
Yeah.
Well, how many people? How many people? Okay, like because we get guys that talk crap at the range, and until you put them on the range, and I'm sitting here like, okay, let's be fair and let's make a 600-yard shot. Okay, I can make 600-yard shots all day long, but can I hit something moving
At 600,
at 600 yards?
Yeah, probably not.
No, probably not. Probably not. And what is that a threat? And to me, I don't want to engage. I want to engage something around 100 yards. to be honest. That's my main zone of engagement is around 100 yards, because I want to hit you with my AR platform or my PCC, because that's what I'm the most comfortable with. But I'm not lugging around my bolt gun. Dude, my bolt gun's got a bull barrel on it. Man, that thing weighs 20 pounds. I ain't carrying that thing around.
Well,
I think I've seen that one. Yeah, it was
my
it was
6.5
pretty
Grendel is an AR platform, but it's got a 22-inch bull barrel on it.
Oh yeah, that's heavy.
It'll get your attention.
Yeah.
But it shoots real nice.
Yeah, those are the sneaky snipers. They carry that shit, fucking scout everything out, and protect you as you go retreat, from doing your thing.
And the thing about
it's just like guys. Go ahead.
No, go Brad, go.
Well, I was just gonna say, at our range, we're awash with vets, and we have quite a bit of ex-operators that come up there from all branches. Whether it's berets, we got ex-Navy SEAL, and it's funny talking to these guys, and I'm a civilian, so I've never been in the military, and I just like hearing these guys talk about their training, especially like when any guys that went through BUDS, talk about. I love talking about the SEER leg of BUDS when they do their SEER training, and these guys, talk about all of their, preferences and what kind of platforms they like, and then you hear some of the civilian guys talk all this crap, and I'm sitting here like, I'm smart enough to know that, number one, I do not want to get in a firefight. I'm smart enough to know that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm also smart enough to know that, number one, I would rather have the superior skills of evasion than really anything else, because I want to evade, disengage, and then I want to bring, that engagement to you on my terms, preferably a lot closer to where I'm guaranteed I'm not going to miss, But some of these guys, talking all this crap, because we got guys at the range that bring out Barrett 50 cals. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, they're cool.
Overkill.
But it's not practical. It's not practical. I mean, those guns were deployed to take out convoy vehicles.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they were made to pop radiators, through armor plating, know. And they do it very well,
Oh yeah.
But hitting a guy with a 50 cal, I mean, dude, you really angry. I mean, because you're blowing limbs off, when you do
it's gonna disintegrate a person.
Yeah, I mean, a person's going to explode.
Yeah, just like that fucking goat that they shot off the fucking mountainside that everybody's seen that video. The fucking...
Yeah.
You haven't seen that video? Look it up real quick. This fuckers shot a goat. They were over in Afghanistan or some shit like that. They shot a goat that was on... goats climb mountains and they just fucking sit up there and chill on those rocks. And they shot one with a fucking 50 and the middle of the goat...
blew it apart.
The middle of the goat is gone. And you see a leg and something and a head. The leg is up and the head is down, whatever's left of it. And it's just insane.
Yeah.
It's fucking overkill. Hell, probably a 338 Lapua is probably over fucking kill too.
Well, 338 Lapua is just good for the trajectory, for the
flight path.
For the ballistic, for the coefficient on the ballistics.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why.
That was violent. That poor fucking goat. What did that goat do to him?
I'm pretty sure that goat never knew it.
Oh my God, I don't even care. That's just mean.
Don't forget, baby,
And I
you
don't
gotta hit the
even-
button to talk. They just saw the video, apparently.
And I don't even like goats because their pupils freak me out.
Goats are awesome. You leave them alone.
Their pupils freak me
Yeah,
out.
that was very instant.
Oh,
when it
yeah.
hit the goat. It was very it was very instantaneous.
Yeah, he didn't know anything.
Oh, anyway,
God,
hey, one thing I didn't tell you is, when the
Goat
doctor
murder.
for me being disoriented, I told you they gave me the meclizine. That stuff is good. Like it really works. But it makes you really sleepy.
Well,
And I have no idea why that just popped in my head.
what drug was it?
Meclizine. Meclizine. Meclizine.
Yeah, the Coast Guard used to hand them out like candy on ships when it got rough.
Meclizine?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
There's another name
Because
for it. Hang on, I'll look it up.
it blocks the receptors, I guess, in your brain that have to do with you getting dizzy and disoriented and stuff. So yeah,
Meckless.
it's a supercharged whatever that crap is they give you, Dramamine.
Dramamine, yeah.
That really don't work.
I don't know. Dramamine kind of works.
Dramamine don't do shit for me.
Oh, well, maybe you, yeah. No, it worked. It worked for me whenever I was underway because I took one at the very beginning of the day when I woke up, and it worked all day. But I mean, I'd gotten used to being underway, so.
All right,
Anivert,
so,
that's the name of it.
What is it?
Anivert.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that either.
So how is the podcast doing?
I think it's Tammy's pointing. So, it's doing good.
I mean,
It's-
like numbers wise. I mean, how is it doing? I mean, are you on a like episode to episode? Or are you kind of on an upward trajectory? And,
Oh, it's getting better. It's getting better every one. But I mean, it's one of those things to where I'm on all platforms. Like it's on iTunes podcast stuff. It's on Spotify. It's on a couple of platforms I never even heard of. But YouTube was. I looked at trying to get on YouTube, and YouTube you can put podcast on YouTube. But when I went on there, it was like you got to submit a picture of your ID or do a 20 or 30-second weird video of yourself talking about whatever and something else, or you just have to have enough.
You sure that wasn't you porn?
I don't think.
It
I would.
sounded,
You know
it
what?
sounded to me like he was trying to start an OnlyFans.
You know.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll start an OnlyFans. I mean, I'll do feet videos. All that. I'd be like, want to pay for my ugly feet? Look, this one's pretty and this one's ugly. If people would pay for my ugly feet pictures, I'd fucking sell them in a heartbeat. But no, the numbers.
So you don't have anything that aggregates all of your data.
Oh, I do. I mean, Buzzsprout shows all those statistics and stuff like that, and like we've hit, I don't know, 5 or 6 different countries, and it shows what it was downloaded on, what.
Yeah. What kind of numbers you got? What kind of numbers you got?
Well, I ain't trying to talk about the numbers on the fucking channel.
Yeah, we don't really care about the numbers, honestly.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to see, but we're
Okay,
literally.
well I do. So tell me, what is it?
I'll tell you offline.
That's an
Oh
offline
my
conversation. It's not. We really don't care. We just do it for the fun of it, and if people listen to it and enjoy it,
Yeah.
that's even better.
Yeah, well, I can talk about the numbers offline. I mean, they're not great, but they're not terrible either, especially since we've only been doing it since January. And of course, nowadays everybody has fucking podcasts. Cam Newton's got a fucking podcast.
Everyone has.
Okay,
a
so
podcast.
are you getting 100
100 listeners per episode? No, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But I mean, I've only done it since January, and
Yeah.
I've got what
Yeah, no, I know.
8-10 episodes out. I think.
And it's not like we do anything to spread it other than tell people we know.
Yeah, we don't really, and even
Well, really,
even some of the
that's
people
all you
we
can really
know,
do, right?
like I know, I haven't told everybody that I know that we do a podcast. I
Well, I
mean,
mean-
hell, you didn't even tell your own sister, and she got mad at you.
I mean, we
She
got
did get mad at me, yes.
we got people that we work with who are still just like, y'all do a podcast, and I'm like, yeah, we've been doing it since January. So what is this? April, January, February, March,
Yeah.
4 months.
Yeah,
So, I
April.
mean,
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it'll take off. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know.
Trisha was incensed that she didn't know about it.
Oh,
I thought she knew.
well, when she first found out,
Oh,
but it was one of those things. Yeah, we're gonna.
Well, consistency when you start is key. Like,
I mean,
Oh,
we're not doing it
on
to
a schedule.
Yeah, we're not doing it to like get like this huge following or to make
Yeah,
any money off of it. Like this was just something fun that Brad came up with because it was going to help him, and we were on board and we supported him, and now we all like it, and it's just fun.
Yeah,
And that's
Like-
really the only reason why we do it.
yeah. Like I don't even want to be like Joe Rogan. I mean, my main goal is I would love to have enough subscribers.
You want Joe Rogan's paycheck.
No, I wouldn't be a good rich person.
I don't think that.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I don't. Want,
I would not be a good rich person. I'm
No.
gonna go ahead and put it out
I
there.
would-
Why?
Because
more money, more problems.
no, it's not even that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go retract what Tammy had said earlier in the thing, where it's like the parents with the kid thing, like you don't know unless you're tested. I for sure know I would be a shitty human being if I was rich. I don't want Joe Rogan money.
I don't think that's the
you
case.
don't
I
want
mean, well,
no.
I
You
mean,
don't want me with
how?
money. I just wouldn't be a good person.
Well, I mean, but what does money do though? I mean, what does money do?
Changes,
Doesn't do anything. No, it doesn't.
Changes a person.
No, it doesn't.
It changes.
I mean,
person.
how?
I
Well,
think
how
it
does
can-
it change?
It's gonna change.
It can corrupt. It can.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm gonna go. It's gonna corrupt. It would corrupt me. I don't want to be rich.
All it does is intensify whatever you already are.
Exactly, which is what I tell y'all. I suppress all the fucking hateful tendencies that I have inside, which was why I seem like a decent person, because I'm suppressing all the.
You don't think that you would still suppress them? You think like, oh, I'm just gonna let it all go. I'm gonna be a huge dick to everybody.
What? Well, I'm a
I mean,
dick to
he's a
everybody.
dick to
already.
everybody now.
Yeah, it's just going to intensify.
That's not true.
It's
He's
going
not.
It's going to intensify. That's all it's going to
No,
be. The only thing I want
He
to
likes to think that he's such a hateful person, but he's not such a hateful person.
He's not.
I know, and I've been listening to that horse shit for years. And the funny thing is the thing is that if there was any truth to that, then you wouldn't get enjoyment in doing this.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
Because you wouldn't want you wouldn't want to do this if you really felt that way.
Here's a perfect
No, I don't
example of
understand.
how
You know,
he's
there's-
spinning
I
bullshit.
think you need to talk
No,
to your
I'm not.
therapist. You need
No,
to talk
I'm-
to your therapist
Hang
about why you
I'm-
self-deprecate.
Hang on,
I'm
Baby
doing-
Kangaroo
because
is gonna.
That's a
what you
good
do.
question.
Baby Kangaroo
Yeah,
is gonna.
you're
make
right
a,
there, Brad. Why do you self-deprecate?
Baby Kangaroo is gonna make a point, and I don't want to cut him off. So what point?
No,
were
that's
you
right.
gonna make?
Look, we go to the Legion. What is the very, very first thing you do?
buy around.
Okay, then.
It makes me feel good. I do it for selfish intentions.
But honestly,
God, you're so full of shit.
No,
I don't
hang
do it
on,
go-
hang on. This goes.
Yeah, that's him trying to cope, man. That's
Thank
the
you.
cope right
Yeah,
there.
like
the cope
this.
is real.
This
What
goes.
the- what?
Hang on.
What's the
Time
shit
out.
on Brad thing all of a
Time out.
sudden?
This goes back to that Friends episode where Phoebe and Joey had this huge argument
Oh,
about
Jesus
a selfless act is not selfish. There's no selfless act
yeah.
that's not selfish. And in every instance, a selfless act is somewhat selfish because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
There is no way that you can ever be like, I did something so good for someone else and it made me feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, I let a bee sting me. You know that bee probably died, right? Right after it stung you.
Like, there's no selfless act that is not in some way, shape, form, or form selfish because it makes you feel. That's the whole point of it being selfless.
No, it's not.
Or
So
hang on, there's
ahead.
another avenue here. It's okay, I will agree somewhat to that, but there's also the thought of it's the being in service to others. Okay, like I will tell you guys something that nobody knows. I give money to St. Jude every single month. I have it automatically drawn out of my account, and I've
That's
done it for
great.
a very long time.
That's fantastic.
And I don't tell people. But I don't tell people, and
Yeah.
I would never tell people except for I just using this in the context of this conversation here.
Yeah.
And I don't do it because it makes me feel good. I do it because I feel like it's my duty in being service to others. It's not that I feel like it makes me feel like a good person. It doesn't. It's like I feel as a believer in my Lord. I feel like I am burdened to be in service to others.
But you
And
don't feel
it's not
like it's
that
a burden. You feel like it's just something that you should do because of your beliefs.
Yes. So it's not necessarily. I don't do it. I don't do it to be like, oh, I feel good, or it makes me feel like a good person, or
But if you stop,
none of that. I mean, I know. And here's the problem. Hang on. Here's the problem with that. I know in my heart I am a good person, so I don't need to try to reinforce myself into believing that I am a good person.
Right,
I
but
do
if
good
you-
deeds because I am a good person.
if you stopped contributing, if you stopped donating, would you feel bad?
Okay, go ahead.
No, because if I stop, there would be a reason.
Okay, here.
Well,
I'm-
because-
I
hang
wouldn't.
on a second.
There
I
would
want
be a
to
reason.
interject real quick before I lose my train of thought. How is you can say you don't want to answer it when I ask you this question. How much do you donate to St. Jude's? If you don't want to answer, just say I don't want to. Just say I don't want to.
Or
answer.
you can
It's
just
fine.
give a ballpark.
I'm just curious.
I think it's like $150 a month,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay. Is $150 a month for you detrimental with your finances?
No.
Okay. Okay. You answered that. You was like, oh yeah, no, great. my thing is, if you do something that's easy, are you a good person? Because $150 a month is great. But if you took 3 hours out of your day or 5 or 10 hours a week to go do something physically personable, go help do something, wouldn't that be more meaningful? Because I mean, we're taking the easy route when it's like, hey, money, $150 doesn't make or break me. I got plenty of shit. I ain't worried about nothing. So are you doing the bare minimum? Is that really worth whatever it is?
You can calculate that as something tangible to being a good person.
Well, I mean, I'm only asking
Right.
because it's like I do the bare minimum with my money, which doesn't fucking matter for $150.
Okay,
I'm a
but
great
hang on,
person.
hang on.
Oh, are you?
No. What you're trying to do now, you're trying to quantify it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, if I have $1,000 in your mind, let's say I have $1,000.
Okay.
You're telling me that I have to assign a certain percentage to be a good person. So in your
God only asked for
you're
10%.
thinking what is it?
No. I'm not.
No. Hang on. Wait.
Go ahead.
Brad.
Go ahead.
What is your percentage in your mind that you think this is me doing something meaningful?
The percentage doesn't matter. It's the.
You just told me it does.
No.
Told me it does.
I didn't say it does. I asked the question. What I'm getting at is the bare minimum worth that to make you think you're a good person, or is it? I give 100.
I don't think it makes me a good person. That's the point you're missing.
You're doing it. No, I know you're doing it because you can and you don't mind it. But I'm just saying, and if quantifying it is the way to say that, it's like I feel I give $150 and I go go spend my time at a soup kitchen and do Habitat for Humanity kind of thing. Because the
now you're going into conviction. You're going into the realm of a conviction now. Like, am I dedicating myself to these causes?
Yeah.
Now you're taking it into a different arena, though.
Well, I mean,
you're moving the goalpost.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to move the goalpost or anything. It's just I'm trying. See, this is why I always say that I'm the simple guy, because I just, if $150 a month for me ain't shit, and I do that, wouldn't it be more meaningful for me to go actually give the $150 and do something else, donate some of my time? Because there is no amount. Would fucking Tony Stark's dad say? There's no amount of time or no amount of money that ever bought a second of time. So your time is worth infinitely more than money.
That's
and if
not
all
true.
you do is money,
that's absolutely not true. That's 1,000% not true. That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, because with money you can multiply your efforts.
Well, here's the problem.
You can hire people to do things.
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not a cancer researcher. So if I give $100 to a cause that employs cancer researchers that are actually doing the work that I physically cannot do, you're trying to tell me that my money doesn't make a difference? That I need to donate my time? Wrong. Second thing, yes, absolutely, money extends life. Money pays for all the research, for all the things that extend our longevity of life. Whether it's cleaner air, cleaner water, cleaner food, money facilitates all that shit, which translates into us having longer life.
The research is, but I think Steve Jobs would argue the difference. Oh, wait a minute, he can't because he died.
I mean,
Steve Jobs
what would he argue?
He had nothing because he's dead. He had all the money in the world, and it didn't save him. It's just
because he didn't try to be saved. Steve Jobs did not. Steve Jobs did not exercise all of the options that were open to him. If you actually knew how Steve Jobs lived his life, he was very much into some
holistic stuff.
Out of the
was he
the
into
norm.
He was holistic. Was he doing holistic shit?
He was into some weird shit. I mean, dude, come on, man. He come up with the iPhone and everything while he was doing like mushrooms and shit, psychedelics, man. Come on.
Did he really? I've never. I don't. Y'all talked about earlier. I thought it was
producer. Find that out.
I found it amusing whenever. Sorry, I'm gonna go off on a fucking left tangent real quick. But you were talking about that fucking guy in the yellow shirt or whatever it was that you were just like, oh shit, you were giddy about it. And I was like, I've never felt that way about anybody who is famous. Like, famous people mean nothing to me. Like,
because you've never developed at least in your mind, a parasocial connection to them. which is fine. Some people don't. A lot of people don't. A lot of people can see somebody famous and be like, okay, cool, somebody famous, who cares?
We did. We were big into NASCAR for the longest time. We went to Vegas on like what your folks took us on Vegas trips like 5 times, and we saw all kind of people, and they were like, oh, look, it's so and so, and I was like, okay. Like,
yeah, we were in a restaurant and we saw,
was
it Denny Hamlin?
We saw Denny Hamlin. There was the other guy that I don't remember.
Went into the pit
and the other guy that I don't remember.
All the drivers, and I was.
You know what? I think I just figured it out.
Uh-oh.
I think Brad's just a hater. He's just a hater.
Oh, absolutely.
He drinks a lot of haterade over there, man.
Absolutely, every day.
Well,
he watches NASCAR. I don't care about that shit.
You know that he.
Fuck him.
You know he says he hates the human race. Like he's just like.
Yeah,
he don't feel that way. He don't feel that way, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because he tries too hard. He tries too hard to convince everybody he's that way. People that feel that way don't go around making such a spectacle of it.
No,
and that's a fact. And that is a fact.
No. There's a difference between trying to convince y'all of it and y'all bring it up and I talk about it. I'm not trying to convince you of it. I'm just. It's like I'm telling you 2 + 2 equals 4, and you people don't fucking understand that's what it is. I'm just telling you what 2 + 2 is. It's 4. That's all I'm doing.
Look, man, I'm gonna get a doll, man. You're gonna need to show me where it hurts.
I need a doll and an adult, and I need somebody to help with. No, it's okay. So you know what? You asked earlier, and I think I made the mention before, and I know I've talked about it in the podcast. I'm doing this podcast because it helps me. If by
okay, hang on. Hold.
My mental health.
For everybody listening, including myself, you say it helps your mental health.
Yes.
Tell me how. How?
It helps him to be heard.
It helps me to feel like I'm heard. It helps me to get creativity off of my chest because I have a weird creative nervousness inside of me. And I've said it earlier, you were the one who in my eyes, inspired me to want to do this. So, I mean, you're partly at fault. Because
I don't know, man. Fuck
really off,
weak,
bro.
No,
Stop fucking fuck off.
He has a lot of ideas that he wants to get out there and talk about, but having a broader audience to be able to talk about
it. When I came home from helping you with whatever couple videos it is, and I made comments to you, I didn't get what's the nonverbal feedback? The nonverbal feedback that I got from you was like, it's my shit, leave me alone. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, then I guess Brad doesn't want me to participate. So, I mean, I'm thankful that you had me on a couple episodes. I thought it was a blast. But I was like, I got this nervous creativity inside of me that I want to get out. And this wound up being my venue to get it out.
But what made you feel that way, though?
I think he's always had it.
I've always had some creativity.
No, but I'm saying you said that I somehow like shut you down. I mean, what did I say that made you feel that way?
Did you not hear what I said? Nonverbal.
I know,
nonverbal things.
It's nonverbal, but if it's nonverbal, then I did something in a physical cue that made you feel that way. So I'm just asking,
body language.
What transpired that made you walk away?
Body language. And then you even said you're a one-man show. So I mean, I wasn't. I
don't think it was anything. I don't think it was anything intentional.
No, I mean, I'm not.
It was just something that you interpreted as, okay, I'm not going to step on your toes.
Yeah. That's all that it was.
I'll take a step back.
Yeah, that's all that it was.
Okay, hang on. When I say that, all that I just said, that's a joke, right?
About what?
I'm joking.
About what?
When I say, well, I'm a one-man show, well, technically I am a one-man show because I'm the one doing everything. But am I saying that? And I'll say this is where you misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm a one-man show forsaking anybody helping me. I'm not saying that.
Well, I
loved it when you came over here and participated. I absolutely loved it, and I wanted to do more of it. But like I said, I guarantee you right now, if you lived closer, like if you lived where you were before you moved, yeah, dude, we'd be doing stuff all the time, because I could very easily incorporate that into things that I want to do anyway, and I could use your ideas, because you being here, seeing all this stuff, you're looking around like, hey, Brad, why don't we do this, man, with this, or man, what you got over there, man? Hey, man, let's go do this with that. And see, that's where a thing where if you got creative, we could feed off each other. You know what I'm saying? So I would totally never, ever be against that in that capacity. It's just hey, man, the distance that separates, man. That's
Why do you keep bringing up the distance like I live in California or some shit, bro? I'm in Louisiana. It's a quick hop to jump in the truck.
Bro, it's an hour and 45-minute drive.
No,
Dude,
the fuck it's not. How do you drive like a grandmother,
yes, it
motherfucker? Jesus,
hour
who the
and
fuck
30
do you
minutes,
think you're
man.
fucking talking to? I don't drive fucking 50 into 70 miles an hour. Get the fuck out of here.
It's really
Hey,
not
man.
that far.
I can be at your house. I can leave right now and be at your
Dude,
house in an hour and 10
hour and a
minutes.
half.
I can be at your house in an hour
No,
and
you
10
can't.
minutes.
You
Bullshit.
ain't gonna be in my house no hour and
Oh
10
my
minutes.
God. Yes, I can.
You so full
When we
of it.
came
Okay.
to your house, it took us an hour and 10 minutes to get there.
Yeah, it's like maybe wait. Well, to be fair enough, maybe now it might take an hour and a half because they're building that fucking Buc-ee's right down the road.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot.
Oh,
of
it's not just the Buc-ee's, by the way.
construction traffic.
They're making I-10 3 lanes.
Oh, wait.
From Mississippi
Y'all
border
getting
to
a
border.
Buc-ee's?
Yeah, they're
Yeah, there's a miss.
Oh,
yeah.
it's going to open on
Is it soon?
June.
Oh, man,
9th,
Buc-ee's
Is it in
I
awesome,
think.
June?
man. I love
Yeah,
Buc-ee's.
June 9th, I think.
It's oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, the fucking it's fucked up in Mississippi right now.
Where they putting it?
right there
Where
at
they putting it
Minjay.
at?
Exit 24 in Mississippi on I-10.
On the Minjay Avenue.
Wait.
Yeah,
it's
but
in
you know there's one just
Mississippi?
on the other
Yeah.
side of Mobile Bay, right?
Yeah, I'm fully.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. We stopped
Yeah,
at
in
that.
Foley.
didn't we?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the
the
one
one
we go
stopped
to.
at. Yeah.
So wait a minute. So wait, they're gonna put it not. Hang on.
It's on the north
Wait a
side of
minute.
I-10.
Yeah,
Exit-
Minjay Avenue.
Would you say exit
It's
24?
on the northwest corner of Mange and I-10.
So I just said.
Yeah,
Exit 24.
It's not giving me exit numbers. I'm looking at.
Look
shitty
at
Google
Mange
Maps.
Avenue, Menge.
Minjay. Later's on the Minjay.
All right, so all right, you're looking that up. So while you're looking that up, then I'm gonna ask you something, Brad. Would you be open to me helping with the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never turn down help you.
Okay.
Especially if you're ready to revamp and turn it around and make it be like
Course
more
correct.
of a course correct.
Course correct.
Make
That's what
it
I'm gonna go
more of a interactive.
Oh, I see where
I see
they're
it.
yeah.
It's
Okay,
all
yeah, it's on the let's see, it's on the west side of the exit there.
The northwest corner
Yeah.
of the exit.
Yeah, it's all fucked up going
Yeah,
through
yeah,
there.
the northwest. Yeah.
They're
okay.
building it. They're
Wow.
building an exit over the fucking interstate just for Buc-ee's.
No. It was there before, but
Are they
Bucky
redoing it?
said, you
Oh,
got to
it's not-
tear that out. That's not big enough.
They need
It
more.
needs to be
yeah.
4 lanes
Oh, yeah.
with a turn lane in the middle.
Yeah.
And
Well, I will-
Mississippi said, okay.
No, I will say the one
Yeah.
in Alabama was done very, very well with the exit, getting off and getting back on. There's
because you can avoid Bucky's traffic.
Exactly.
Because they made it they
Yeah.
made the exit where like, hey, if you're just going to Bucky's, get
This
in
is
this
where
lane.
you
But if
go.
you want
Yeah.
a regular get on the Baldwin Beach Express, you go this way.
exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, they made it.
So yeah, no,
yeah.
looking at Google Earth, I could see exactly where Bucky's is coming from because this exit is in no way, shape, or form ready to take
Nope.
on a Bucky's.
Nope. That's why they're redoing it.
So yeah, I could totally see that. But yeah,
All right, here.
yeah. I mean, I've got some, and I was talking about this with in a live stream where I want to do videos that are not at this table. I want to do videos outside with stuff.
All right. How about
I'm literally sick and tired of doing videos at this
Hey,
table.
I like some of the stuff that you did different, like and
Why don't y'all do one from the RVs when you're camping?
Well, hold on a second. We can.
Because I haven't been camping a lot.
Well, here's one thing I want to.
Well, I did a live stream. Hey, to be fair, did you see the live stream I did from Orange Beach Invasion?
I was gonna say you did
That night.
You did one that night that you went. Yeah, that
Yeah.
we all went there. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a live stream when y'all came. No.
All right,
No,
well,
this was the car show at the wharf.
well, I mean, I don't see the live.
Y'all-
I don't see
y'all-
anything live that you do because I don't have notifications turned on and no YouTube doesn't tell me
Oh.
anything. I had thanks by
it's
the way
a-
for letting me bomb your live stream the other.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
Even though it was like
We were
not
all kind of
in-
drunk. Well, maybe more than kind of.
It was.
it was after the power hour, and we were
And-
like, we're
Well,
gonna
here's
completely
one of
bomb
the.
Brad.
Did you post that live stream afterwards?
Yeah, all
Did
my
you?
live streams are posted.
Oh, I thought I looked and I couldn't see. I couldn't see where. I think I went through a couple live streams. I was like, I don't see where we fucking called him. I was like, maybe he didn't post it. So here's what I'm gonna. Here's what I'm gonna offer you. I do my podcast every other weekend, Friday or Saturday. So if you are open and receptive to me helping you, I'm willing to dedicate a Saturday every other weekend to helping you out if you want to see if we can do stuff. I can do a podcast on Friday and I can help you on Saturday. And then I can have Saturday night to myself and Sunday to myself. And I can totally do that if that's something you're receptive to find out if we work.
Yeah.
You want to try that? So not to
I mean, I'm open to it. I mean, because like I've got plans of doing a couple videos that are outside, you know, like range. Like I really want to do some range content, but I'm gonna have to do that on Rumble. Because all my gun content is going to be on Rumble.
What is Rumble?
Have you been living under a rock?
Video.
We're not on.
It's like
social media.
It's like YouTube.
It's an alternative to YouTube.
It's like YouTube. Yeah, but it's like the Wild Wild West. You can.
They're not nearly the
shit.
restrictions on Rumble that there are on YouTube.
I've never. This is the first time I've ever heard
you can
about
post
Rumble.
gun content, and you can post all kinds of stuff. So it don't matter. So yeah.
So what do you like better, Rumble or Grindr?
I don't know what the hell Grindr is. What is that? That's some gay shit.
My producer pulled up Rumble, and it looks just like YouTube.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna have to
Except
look up,
they're not
Rumble.
they're not anti-right, anti-2A. They're not none of that.
No, I'll check out Rumble. For all you listeners, check out Rumble.
So you could actually go on there and speak your mind and not have to worry about getting banned. And all
Are
that
you
stuff.
on Rumble, Brad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Brad's Journey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess I'm gonna look for.
I don't do a lot over there. I just I was getting ready to use it to do gun content.
Do you?
Because I wanted to do like a firearm Friday. You know, I wanted to do like a showcase of a firearm every Friday. You know, and I wanted to do that on Rumble, and then do range content and all that kind of stuff on Rumble.
Is there not a? This is going to be the only way I know how to ask this question. I post to Buzzsprout, and Buzzsprout pushes it all out there. Is there not an equivalent for video content?
There is.
Same?
There's multi streaming services that you know,
make
like when when you do a live stream.
Yeah, you make it and it posts to YouTube, Rumble, and whatever other.
Right. Instagram.
And you don't use one of those?
Yeah. No, I don't do that.
Do you think it would be beneficial?
Probably.
Because it would just get you on more platforms.
Yeah, I mean that was the only reason I was asking, because like I said, Buzzsprout pushes it to Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's
wherever
iHeartRadio.
Yeah,
iHeartRadio. Yeah. There's like 15 different things that Buzzsprout pushes it to. That was the only reason I was.
Hey, I told you that I was low effort. And that's me telling the truth.
Well, my problem,
I'm low effort.
My thing with you would be like, I've got so many ideas that I feel like I could help. I just don't want to be a burden or make you feel over encumbered, because like I said, I had that creativity inside, and I've seen so many things. Like I wanted to do more than that fucking Axe video, and that might have been one of the things too. It was like you were just like, oh, the Axe video sucked, and I was just like, it kind of did suck. But
I liked it. Here's the problem.
But
hang on, and I'm gonna tell you right now. I know that video bothered you. I know that.
It did.
But I'm gonna tell you the reason why I didn't like it, because of when I watched it in post. Because when I watched it in post, I'm sitting here like, God dang, we could barely see us. It was bad. I said I needed to do that with more light. I needed to do it before it got dark. I needed to do it like while we still had sunlight, and then just because it doesn't matter if you got the fire going day or night. It really don't matter. But for the video's sake, it would have been better, and I knew that, and I was down on myself doing that because I'm like, damn, I should have known better than to do it this way.
Yeah.
So that's why I felt bad about it, because it's like you can't take it back. You know, you can't redo it at that point because we already did it. And you know, it just that ticked me off, because in the grand scheme of things, me looking at the camera, I should have known better, but I didn't. And like right now, I know better. So yeah, that would be a lot different.
Well, see, there's your
And I know that video did bother you. I know.
Yeah,
that.
see, there's your OCD kicking in too, and you know, we had growing pains from our very first episode to now. So I mean, you know, we've learned different things also. So I mean, yeah, the video, yeah, that did kind of bug me because I was like, oh man, just because I mean, you even said like the people putting down fucking fake grass. I was like, well, why couldn't you just fucking post it? If it didn't get any views, it didn't. If it got a lot of views, then people would have just commented the fucking lighting sucks, but the video was great.
Yeah.
But
well, it's one of those things where I get in my head about. Well, is this the one? Look, is this the one video?
See, we both do that though.
But
we both do that, and that's the thing. And then I felt bad,
know,
and then I felt like I was stepping on your toes. And then I value our friendship because I've known you for so long, and I don't want to.
Oh no!
I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I don't want to fuck up our friendship because I've known you way too fucking long.
No.
And I'm just like, I can't do that. I just can't.
Look. That stuff doesn't affect me at all. Criticism don't affect me. You running me down don't affect me. None of that. None of that stuff bothers me. What bothers me the most about my overall experience on YouTube, okay, I'm going to tell you what it is.
All right.
I have a video that has 890,000 views.
Yeah.
Okay? That means I've had almost 900,000 people see me. I have 9,600 subscribers. That means that 890,000 people did not feel it that I was worth it to just scroll over and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, I got you. I see where you're going with that.
And my thing is, if I would have posted that video, like you said, just post it and let it do what it's going to do. I understand that. But what if that video that I know better, that I know we could have done it a lot better, I know that. What if that's the first person, that's the first video they see, and then they don't give me a chance after that?
Mm. That's
where I have changed on YouTube to where now I'm like, I'm going to be a real person because I am a real person. And I'm real.
You're real?
With it now.
I thought that was AI.
And I'm going to tell you something. Hang on. No. I'm not no AI. Because I'd be a lot buffer if I was. But it's funny because the feedback that I get in my live streams is that everybody in my live streams tells me that's why they love my channel. Is because I seem to be more relatable.
But don't you think that even if that video wasn't up to your specs, you still don't think that people who have already been loyal would look at that and be like, that's real Brad. That's a real video. That's a real person putting it out there, and they wouldn't take that and say, I like this because that was real. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right. Okay. There is that factor. Okay. But here's the perspective. You guys doing your podcast, right?
Yeah.
You can tell me right now that from the first time you guys set that shit up and you set on those microphones and you started recording, whether you were nervous, you fumbled, you couldn't, it was hard for you to concentrate, hard to keep you a clear train of thought, whatever.
Oh yeah, we made mistakes.
You tell me today, but no, you tell me today that, oh yeah, today we're doing these podcasts way better than that first episode. Okay, but in the same breath, you're not going to go back to how you did them in that first episode. That's where I'm coming from, because now well, I do need to do things. Yeah. But
I mean, even the earlier episodes, and even if we make mistakes now, because I mean, I'm sure I'm making mistakes, and I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm still gonna post it.
Yeah.
You didn't even feel the need to post it.
But let's be real.
And I understand you had. I understand you had
an
established base, But I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like,
Sometimes
we're
people
always
actually prefer the imperfections.
Yeah, we're always real on the podcast,
Yes.
and it's like I sent you an outline, and I was just like, here's an outline, and you see how we diverged down multiple rabbit holes. It's like an outline is just an outline. This is just what I want.
Yeah.
Here's the main things that I want to talk about, and if it divulges into something else, that's great, because we haven't stopped being real. But I mean, improve. True. I want to improve.
But there is.
Absolutely.
But hang on. There's one thing that you did say that lets me know you're not being 100% honest, because you do care. You do care about the product that you are delivering to your listeners. You do care because you told me like when Kangaroo Dude burps, you got to edit that out. Well, why would you edit that out if you truly felt that way?
Well, because nobody wants to.
You edit it out. No. You edit it out because you do care about the quality of what you're giving to your listeners. Well, that's a natural progression of what the product that you are putting out there for people to consume.
I see where you're coming from because I was even at the same standpoint of where Brad was like, we have to put the dogs up when we do our podcast because we don't want them barking and going ham with their toys. And I was like, no, the dogs are going to be part of the podcast. Like they're part of our lives. They're part of the podcast. Right. So that means Joey's baby kangaroo's coughing is part of the podcast.
That's why I have a push to talk button now.
Yeah. Well, I was doing a video. This last video I did, I'm doing the video, and it's one take. Once I cut that box open, that's it. That's one take.
Oh yeah,
I'm one and done.
Yeah,
I swear to you, in this last video, I swear I got buzzed by a jet at my house, and I'm sitting here
Pulled
thinking,
a Top Gun.
I'm like, are they going to be able to hear that in the video? And yes, it came through quite loud, and I'm just like, well, all right, guys. Apparently, I just got attacked by somebody. So I don't know what the hell's going on. And I just left it in because I'm not going to edit that shit out.
Okay.
Now, the only thing I will edit out is if I sneeze.
Because
when I open these boxes,
All right, well, look, here in my defense, after doing a podcast, I honestly wish that everybody on the planet walked around with a headset and a mic. And the only reason I fucking go back and edit, baby kangaroo stuff is because if I could edit out him in real life coughing so much, I would hit the fucking mute button on this motherfucker all goddamn day long. Mute, volume down, mute. You can't go home yet, bitch. Well, that just goes into your hatred of people. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. You have to hit the button so we can hear you.
No, I made a point of not hitting the button.
Even though everyone can still hear him.
Now, isn't he older than all of us?
Yes.
How much older?
10 years.
Oh my God! So he's a senior citizen.
He's not
This
quite
is the only.
there yet.
This is the only time I wish we did have video, just so I could like zoom, do one of those close-up zooms of motherfucker.
He doesn't get the senior citizens discount.
Not quite yet.
Shit. Yeah, he does too. I want to take him out to eat.
My dinner will be cheap.
We're gonna go somewhere.
I need that damn discount, yo.
We're gonna go somewhere where they serve soft foods, so it's easy on the teeth.
Go up there when they gotta have a little disclaimer where it says teeth optional.
Teeth. Baby kangaroo, do you have all your teeth?
Actually, no.
I can't hear you.
Tell him to turn his hearing aid up.
He said, "Turn your hearing aid up. We can't hear you."
Actually, no. The lovely.
Got him. Got him. Got him. All right, I need my dogs to protect me. Oh man, that was
all right.
I turned it off.
This has been going for 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Yes,
and I'm in here. I done let these people inject me with the plague, and I'm drinking sweet tea, and my bladder's about to explode. So I gotta go.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah. Brad, you got any last words?
No, I'm good. I think we did enough damage to the reputation of the show.
No, I actually think this is right in line.
This is right on point. This is what we do every time.
Oh man, that's funny. Okay, we're gonna end this then. All right, so here's what it is. Thank you. If y'all made it this far, I think the last episode or the one before went for 4 hours, so 3 hours is an hour cut. Want to give out to a shout out to Brad and his YouTube channel, Brad's Journey. Want to say appreciate y'all listening. Also, we want to let y'all know that if you listen this far, we're trying to change the theme of the whole thing. What we want to do is we want to give an outlet to people if they want to be heard, kind of like I want to be heard, and you don't want to go through the hassle of starting a podcast or anything like that, hit me up on our Gmail, pawnshopoflife@gmail.com, and reach out, and I'll host an episode for you of what you want to talk about. So we're going to try that route because it's like a pawn shop. You know, we're Pawn Shop of Life. So what do you do when you go to a pawn shop? You take something in, you trade it in, you get some value back, and it works for both parties. So that's what we're going to try to start doing from now on. So if y'all got topics y'all want to talk about, hear about, I'm always open to learn new things, to hear people's different opinions. Hit us up. Let us know what you think. And we appreciate everybody listening. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.